extreme. Oh, man, we got a lot to cover today. This Hunter stuff. I just read a story. What? What? There was a near miss by a plane in Fort Lauderdale I just heard in the news? What was that? I missed that. I just read a story about Hunter. It's insane. I'm also going to go through the conditions, but I just read a story about him in this court yesterday that I can't believe is real. But it's real. I mean, all right. Here we go.
Directed. Zevo, people-friendly, not deadly.
On the air since 1977, it's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
Oh, all right, it sure is. My name is Brian. You're listening to Florida's longest-running radio show, the Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977. Oh, man, do we have a lot to cover today. Not just Hunter. I just read a story about Hunter Biden in the courtroom yesterday that it's shocking. It's a story I've never heard of something like this happening before, and I think it'll blow your mind too. But before I get to all of that, I want to say, oh, by the way, have you noticed, do I sound better today than yesterday? You may not notice, but I am virtually pain-free now. I'll talk about it later. I went and saw Dr. Appleton yesterday morning, and he gave me the laser away pain treatment. I'll talk about that later, but I'm like a new person. I feel like oh, wow. I mean, I just feel like I've been cured. I'll get into more details on that later, but I am amazed at how much pain I was in yesterday and what Dr. Appleton was able to do with his laser away pain treatment. But I'll get to that later. But before I get to the details of these shocking stories involving Hunter Biden yesterday, if you look at what happened, because Hunter is actually facing consequences, it doesn't mean he's going to have consequences, but he's facing consequences. There's a big difference, right? But that plea deal getting thrown out is a direct result of the whistleblowers and, of course, the phone call that his legal team made impersonating all that stuff. But the main thing that yesterday showed was how weak Joe Biden is. You know, Joe Biden is the scummiest, most criminal person to ever be president of the United States. And that's saying a lot, because there's been a lot of scummy presidents and there's been a lot of corrupt presidents. But Joe Biden has taken it to a whole new level. He is a lifetime criminal. Well, at least an adult lifetime criminal. He started doing crime not long after law school when he got into government. And he never stopped. And when people are lifelong criminals, they escalate, 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 escalate. And he's taken this extreme criminal enterprise that he has to levels that no one in high office has ever done before. And I've talked a lot that he's criminally insane, meaning that he's been doing crime so long that he doesn't even know it's criminal. He thinks this is just how Washington works, man. Come on, man. Stop with all that malarkey. And yeah, it's true. And yesterday, even though the behavior in the courtroom was strange, bizarre, and inappropriate, what happened yesterday shows the fall of Mafia Don, basically, is what we saw yesterday in Joe Biden. He's not as powerful as he used to be, because it's like you go into the kitchen, not my kitchen, hopefully not yours, but you go into the kitchen in the middle of the night and it's dark and there's roaches and you turn the lights on and they run. It's kind of what's happening in Washington right now. The spotlight has been put on the criminal activities of Joe Biden. You know, he got away with his crime, corruptions, and briberies and all of that stuff when he was lower level, but now that he's the boss, there's a spotlight on him and he's gotten busted. And if he had the juice that he used to have, Hunter wouldn't have faced any consequences yesterday. So that's first off. So we do have a weakened Joe Biden. And to me, the weakness is that I'm still sticking by this. I believe Now, again, this could change today, tomorrow, or next year because this is an evolving story, but I believe he's going to resign from office. They got an easy excuse. He's a senile old coot with the adult diapers that doesn't know where he is half the time, so they can use health issues as a front for him to resign, okay? So I'm not, but I believe he will resign from office, and there's a very good chance that means we'll have Kamala as president if he resigns and she's the vice president. I think things are that bad, and what happened in that courtroom, I think, is evidence of that. Now, again, that's not written in stone, and so many things are developing that he could complete his term and just not run. But what I keep harping on, that I really am, I feel strongly about, the Republicans are not bringing Joe Biden down. The deep state are bringing Joe Biden down. All the evidence, including the whistleblowers, the bribe information and bank accounts and all of that was handed to the Republicans on a silver platter from the FBI. All right? This is the Republicans don't have a team of investigators that are out there uncovering things. That's not what's happening. They're being handed all this stuff. He's being served to them on a silver platter of corruption with lots of evidence, okay? And I'm waiting, and I would not have been surprised if this happened. You know what I was really waiting for yesterday? And I don't know if any of you had this thought. I was waiting for Biden just to sign a pardon on his son yesterday. Yeah, I really was expecting that yesterday. Why not? Usually what presidents do is they sign controversial pardons their last night in office. That's become a tradition with presidents, so they can wander away and not be bothered after they, like Bill Clinton, believed to have sold pardons, all those kind of things. But I want you to think about this. If Joe Biden pardoned Hunter, Democrats wouldn't care. What do you think the corporate media would do? They'd talk about it. But that's about it. I think that if Joe Biden pardoned Hunter today, if he would have done it yesterday for the good of the country, don't you know? I don't think there'd be much outrage from us, yeah. But not from the left, not from the Democrats. And I'm expecting that too. That could very well happen. The problem is with a pardon, you can't pardon someone for future crimes. And when Mark Levin, I was talking about this on my podcast last night, Mark Levin, when he asked a question on his Sunday night show, where's the money, and implying that Biden has the bribe money stashed somewhere, that was new to me. And I don't think Mark Levin just said that. I think Mark Levin, who has Trump's ear and the ears of a lot of insiders, and they talk to him and tell him things, I think that was almost like a slip of Mark Levin, that they believe, or maybe they know, that Joe Biden has a lot of this corruption money in offshore bank accounts. See, a lot of times, people that are crooked have money in offshore bank accounts, and it can be lots of money, $10 million, $100 million, and they can't get to the money because if they transfer the money, then they get exposed. And when Mark Levin said that on his show Sunday night, where's the money, I started thinking, wow, so Joe's got money stashed somewhere that he can't bring back home. So if he pardoned Hunter today, any criminal activities that he does in the future wouldn't be covered by that pardon. So, I remember there was a lot of pressure put on Obama in his last year by the La Raza types to pardon all the illegals in the country. Do you remember them talking about that? Yeah, it was a serious discussion. And people said, well, yeah, but they'll still be illegal the minute after the pardon, so that wouldn't matter. So a pardon would only work if he didn't do any more crime. And how are the Bidens going to stop doing crime? That's all they know. They're like supervillains in Gotham or something. All right, so listen, we're going to take our first break of this Thursday morning. I'm Brian Craig. You're listening to The Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show on the radio since 1977, celebrating 46 years on the radio. Our number is toll-free, 1-888-GO-KANE 1-888-465-2631. We'll be right back.
Don't sit on the sidelines. Get in on the action. Call the Steve.
Hold on, guys. I'll be right back.
On air now. 888-GO-KANE-1. This is the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
Hey, it's Scott Shannon here with a question. How would you like a free doorbell camera? You get a doorbell camera, you get a doorbell camera, and you get a doorbell camera. I wish we had them for everyone, but the first 40 True Oldies channel listeners to call 833-283-5050 will get a free doorbell camera that connects directly to your cell phone with installation of your Sloman Shield. You're going to see your home right from the palm of your hand. And that's not all. Sloman's going to give you a free customized home security system and professional installation when you use their low-cost central station monitoring. So you're getting an LED touchscreen pad, a motion detector, 3-arm doors, and a backup battery. Plus, if you're one of the first...
All right, sorry, I had to coordinate something with Mike.
To dial 833-283-5050, you'll receive a free doorbell camera with the installation of your Sloman Shield. So call Sloman's now for this limited time offer, 833-283-5050. That's 833-283-5050.
If you're a homeowner, business owner, or with a homeowners association and your roof is old or compromised, you need to call Tom Laporta at Laporta Contracting. Tom Laporta will give you a free evaluation. Laporta Contracting was voted one of the best.
I tell you guys, the way that this went down in the courtroom yesterday, if you're on hold, stand by. I'm going to go through one quick story, then I'm going to go to the phones. But Hunter got treatment that no one else would get in this country. Now, yeah, I'm going to talk about Dr. Appleton when I get back, because I don't know if you guys can tell the difference. Maybe not, but maybe I'm just feeling it. But I think my voice sounds different today. I mean, I was really in so much pain yesterday. Oh. Oh, what happened? I missed that, Rome. Somebody said that's awful. What happened that's awful? I missed. Let me go back. Did something happen, Rome? I missed what you said that they were saying they were sorry for. Oh, yeah, my wife told me about that. That's awful. That is awful. I know, that's awful, and a big animal, too. We have an owl somewhere near us, been there. We've had owls for years, and I like hearing them. That whoo, whoo. Yeah, that's sad. Big old owl, too. Oh, they are beautiful. That's awful.
Now, back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig. Listen in the Palm Beaches on 95.9 FM, the Treasure Coast on 106.9 FM, hear us in Boca on 95.3 FM, Fort Lauderdale on 96.9 FM, and anywhere in the world at TrueOldiesFLA.com.
All right, callers on hold, stand by. I'm Brian, it's Steve Kane Show. Okay, so I don't know if you guys can tell, because maybe you guys, but to me, I can tell. Do I sound different today or better today? I was in so much pain yesterday, I could hardly function. And, you know, I had another skateboard accident, which I'm going to have to retire the skateboards. I'm really going to have to stop that. But I went and saw Dr. Appleton yesterday morning when I got off the air and had his laser away pain treatment. And you know, when I walked out of the office, I was feeling better. And this morning, I woke up like I'm here, and the pain is almost completely gone. There's just a little discomfort. I'm going to go back for a second treatment either tomorrow or Saturday. It doesn't matter because, you know, walk-ins are always welcome at Dr. Appleton's. It depends. I'm kind of busy the next couple days. But yesterday, I was in so much pain, I didn't know how I was going to get through the show. I really didn't. And today, it's almost completely gone. There's a little discomfort. But yesterday, the way I described the pain, I had pain in the front of my shoulder and on the side. On the side of my shoulder, it felt like someone had punched me with all their strength. On the front of the shoulder, the feeling was if I had been stabbed by like a steak knife, and they had taken the steak knife and were cutting my muscle inside. That's awful pain. I don't know if that makes sense to you, the way I described it, and I could hardly move. And when I went to Dr. Appleton's office, he examined me and had me move my arm around and stuff, and it was torturous. And as soon as I left the office, I was feeling better. And my experience has been with the laser wave pain treatment that you really feel it the next day, how much better you feel. I mean, I'm amazed at how great I feel. I could probably skip the follow-up, but I'm not because I'm going to go back. So listen, stop suffering. Go see Dr. Appleton. Appointments aren't necessary. Walk-ins are welcome Monday through Saturday. You can find him online at AppletonChiro.com or give him a call, 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. All right? So if you're on hold, stand by. Just let me share this one story then about Hunter yesterday that I just saw this morning, and it's so weird. Listen to this. Listen to this. The prosecutor told Hunter Biden he loved him during the U.S. Attorney's investigation. When have you heard a prosecutor who's prosecuting an international felony crime and criminal tells the criminal they love them? The ongoing investigation into Hunter's tax affairs and overseas business dealings has come under increased scrutiny recently, that's for sure, revealing disturbing connections that raise serious questions about conflicts of interest. According to a report from Fox News, a thorough examination of Chief Deputy Attorney General of Delaware, Alexander Snyder Mackler, what kind of guy has a hyphenated name? His association with the Biden family and the investigation into Hunter brings to light a concerning web of relationships that demands closer scrutiny. Mackler, with his hyphenated name, has long-standing ties with the Bidens that cannot be overlooked. He served as Joe Biden's legal counsel during his vice presidency. He's being prosecuted by his dad's lawyer? What the heck? I missed that in the breakdown on television yesterday. The prosecutor was Joe's lawyer? Are you kidding me? Plus the Bidens own Delaware, but on top of that, that's insane. Did you guys know that? He was press secretary during Joe's Senate tenure between 07 and 08. So the prosecutor was Joe's attorney and his press secretary when he was in the Senate? Are you freaking kidding me? Perhaps even more significant is the fact that Mackler's stint as an assistant United States attorney in the Delaware U.S. Attorney's Office coincided with the federal inquiry into Hunter's financial affairs. While the specifics of Mackler's involvement in the probe remain elusive, his prominent position in the office investigating the president's son raises legitimate concerns about impartiality. Emails received from Hunter's laptop depict a close relationship between the prosecutor and Hunter, with Mackler signing off on an email to Hunter with this: "Love you, brother." Love you, brother? That's how the prosecutor signs his emails to Hunter? So he signs he has personal emails where he says, "I love you" to Hunter. He was Joe's lawyer and Joe's press spokesperson when he was in the Senate. Are you kidding me? Wow. Did any of you see any of this in the breakdowns yesterday in the media? If they shared that, I missed it. All these legal analysts giving legal analysis of this isn't a legal proceeding. This is a corrupt proceeding. These prosecutors should be in front of a judge. What the hell? You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
I'm Maddie. I'm calling from Sunrise.
Hey, Maddie in Sunrise. How are you?
I'm good, and I'm glad you feel better.
Oh, man. Well, thank you, Dr. Appleton. I mean, my Lord, pain is tough.
Oh, definitely. I know I had a hip replacement, and it's tough. Anyway, I'm sitting here drinking my coffee, which is delicious, but I just want to tell you, I don't think Biden can pardon Hunter if he's not been convicted yet. Has to be convicted.
Well, I'm not too sure about that because President Ford pardoned President Nixon, and he wasn't in court or charged or convicted of anything.
Yeah, but he was the president.
It doesn't matter. Not at the time. At the time he was pardoned, he wasn't president. No, that's not true. Unfortunately, it's not true.
Oh, but I did hear that the prosecuting attorney did say, "I love you, Hunter." I either saw that on TV or read it.
Oh my goodness.
And, I mean, we never even knew that.
No, and now we find out that he was Joe Biden's attorney when he was vice president and his press spokesperson when he was in the Senate. This is the prosecutor? Are you kidding me?
I don't know where this is going, but thank God for the judge. That's all I can say. And all this to light.
Well, the judge has the spotlight on her. So, I wouldn't give her too much credit yet. She's kind of in a pickle.
Yeah, she is, but at least he didn't get his plea deal.
And look how Hunter pulled up like he was a gangster. He had that huge motor, he had that huge motor pool that came with him, right? They shut down roads in the area and everything else to bring him in like he is, the Prince of Wales.
I do agree with you. I do think the president's going to resign. I think after all this and everything that's coming out, I do think he's either going to resign or they have to take him out.
Okay. All right. Well, that last little phrase, what she meant is force, do the 25th Amendment is what she meant there. Hey, Maddie in Sunrise, thanks for the call. We'll be right back.
Making morning radio great again.
I think you're gonna really love it.
It's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
Oh, goodness. I mean, he and a person, I love your brother. Love your brother. Got everything he has because of Joe.
Outdoor spaces are created. Here's the oldies forecast.
Good day, everybody. Hope you're off to an awesome start. So we're going to see a daytime high today, about 90 degrees, but there's a flood watch up, and we're going to see pockets of heavy rain throughout the course of the day. It is going to be quite wet out there, so take it easy. The risk of flooding throughout. I'm WPBF 25 First Warning Meteorologist Sandra Shaw.
Weather brought to you by Palm Beach Patio Furniture. Route 1 Seminole Plaza Shops, North Palm Beach. Palm Beach Patio Furniture. Voted in the best of the best patio store in Palm Beach County. PalmBeachPatioFurniture.com.
The level of corruption with this case is insane.
A true oldies traffic check.
Insane.
Brought to you by the Palm Beach Kennel Club.
So I was talking on my podcast last night. Our new cat, Luna, she's working out great, but there's one thing with her that I've never experienced with any cat. She does not know how to use kitty litter. And I mean, this is a rough one. I've taken in strays before. I've never had a cat that did not know how to use kitty litter, because I guess that a stray thinks the whole world is their litter, right? So that's a challenge. Everyone told me when she goes to the bathroom, number 2, to put it in her litter. Yeah, well, that works out good unless she does it somewhere where we can see it. Yeah, she is. We're fattening her up, too. We've been feeding her food like crazy because she's so skinny, poor little thing. Rome, text my wife that kitty litter to get. We need something because that's a problem. And she's got a spot she likes. It's in my studio. So, Dr. Elsie's kitty litter. Okay. It's a training litter. Yeah. So I might show her on my live streams from home this weekend.
Make sure that you have your prescriptions. They'll help you find a doctor, including a specialist. If you've been billed improperly by a doctor's office,
And that's just something I've never encountered before.
they'll even be your advocate when you're in the hospital to make sure you get the care you need and the care you deserve. And that's just the beginning of what they do. I Will Advocates takes care of all Steve Kane's healthcare issues too, and they can do the same for you. I Will Advocate clients are family, and they go to bat for their family when you need them the most. Call Debbie at I Will Advocates right now. Toll free 1-877-275-2326. 1-877-275-2326. 1-877-275-2326.
Hi, it's Kate from Will For You. It goes without saying that the sun is here, and so is the
Well, thank you, Rome,
solar sale.
because I'll forget.
For you. Select a stylish kerosene
I got so much on my mind. I can't remember much at all.
sturdy engineered wood.
Kathy's always, I always have Kathy text me things because I forget everything.
To support our year-round residents with lots of great bargains on America's premier flooring brand, Kerosene. Summertime is busy with pools, beach, barbecues, and outdoor sports. So if your family is anything like mine, pool, food, toys, sand, all end up in the house. So you need a floor that will perform. You need Kerosene.
Let me ask you guys, I don't want to get into this on the show,
Yeah, Will For You. Luxury vinyl
but
$2.99 a square foot.
why do you think they're giving us all this BS about UFOs and alien bodies?
So for best
Why is the news focusing on that BS? They do not have alien bodies. Aliens are not visiting, or aliens have not visited the Earth. I don't believe any of that.
Will Floor, the letter U, FLA.com.
And I don't think they have alien bodies. A distraction? Who's distracted by that line of bull crap? And they said non-human remains. Well, that could be the remains of a dog, or non-human remains. And if aliens were visiting the Earth, we'd all know about it. They wouldn't be doing it just in front of military aircraft with very bad cameras.
716-4879. Middleman Eye, your trusted eye practice for cataract surgery. Listen to this Google review.
I just had my cataract surgery. And Dr.
It's true to an
Paulette
extent.
said standing
What
tall
extent is that?
was nearsighted my entire
Exactly.
life, but the new trifocal panoptic lenses he inserted allow me to see more clearly than ever, and no more glasses or contacts.
Middleman Eye, 2 locations in Jupiter Gardens and West Palm Beach. Call 561-500-EYES. Online at middlemaneye.com. Call or text the Middleman Eye Center today at 561.
My wife got your text, Rome, on the litter.
To make an appointment.
Oh, she already ordered that litter. It's at the front door.
Golf match?
Sure am. As soon as 2 men in a truck
It got delivered. I brought it in this morning. There was a box of litter.
jump removal coming.
That's the litter.
Jump removal?
Yeah, the same 2
That's
men
awesome, Rome. Okay, so now I'll have to switch out the litter when I get home.
jump removal needs, and I'll be able to get my car in the garage.
And find your golf clubs.
2menpalmbeach.com and 2mentreasurecoast.com. Now offering jump removal.
All right, here we go.
On the air.
All right, welcome back. Calls on hold, standby. I don't want to, I probably shouldn't bring this up because it's one of those things you bring up and you get a ton of calls. I don't want to get calls on the topic, but I'm going to bring it up anyway. Why do you think the news are promoting all this BS about UFOs and alien bodies and having these hearings? You know, the aliens are not and have not visited the Earth. It's all BS. If aliens were visiting the Earth or had visited the Earth, we would know it. They would be here. We'd see them. They wouldn't be out in the middle of nowhere, only in front of military aircraft in very bad weather with very bad cameras. It's total nonsense. But I don't understand why the media are hyping up all these UFO hearings. I used to believe in that stuff when I was a kid, little kid. But it's all lies. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, good morning. This is Rich.
Oh, hey, Richie.
Yeah, you know what this is all about, don't you? The word control. Joe's Attorney General, this most corrupt Attorney General since Eric Holder,
Yes.
is behind all of this. He has kept this within his circle. This is the Justice Department of the United States government. All these prosecutors are from the Justice Department. That's why he didn't want a special counsel, because he would have lost control. But right now, he runs the show. These prosecutors are all in the same. They're all in there.
Well, when this prosecutor in Delaware was Joe Biden's press spokesperson in the Senate, his attorney when he was Veep, and he tells Biden, "I love you." What the heck?
Well, the head prosecutor, the guy that was assigned by Carlin, who said, I let him do. Well, no, he was actually picked by President Trump. But this is a real kicker. This is the guy that's as corrupt as could be too, because they're all in bed with each other. I told you the other day, uniparty, and you always say uniparty, deep state, whatever you want to call it. They're in the same. It's the same.
I'm informed. Don't you worry.
This is a setup, just like it's a setup to get.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Now they're in a little bit of trouble. They got a speed bump because a spotlight's been put on this with the whistleblowers and everything. But yeah.
You know, part of this plea deal. Here's the deal. What I heard, I don't know where I heard it. Either heard it from War Room or I heard from the guy Mike. I forgot his last name, or I heard it from up within. This is all about, okay. Not only was he going to take a plea deal and say he was, the original plea deal, but they were going to say this investigation is ongoing with Hunter, but he would have been exempt. He would have been exempt from all the charges. So the judge asked basically, well, aren't there other charges? Yeah, but you're giving them immunity.
Yeah.
Immunity for these other charges. So the bottom line was, if that had happened, that would have been the end of the.
And they were all talking about this double jeopardy stuff. But here's the thing. When I knew the fix was with Hunter for sure, is at that state dinner a couple weeks ago. Hunter Biden's background when he was at that state dinner, and all these big shots, and including one person whose name I don't want to mention, that's on every other billboard off of I-95 in the Turnpike here in Florida, was in line to suck up to Hunter. Hunter is as scummy as a man can be. You know who I would compare him to in history? He's like John Holmes. Or, he's like John. It's like, you know what I mean? If you went to a party and there was a guy like John Holmes, you might be curious to meet him, but would you wait in line sucking up to him like these millionaires and power brokers were at that dinner? I mean, he's a disgusting person with every vice known to man except gambling. I've never heard about him gambling, and he's scummy. And when I saw the people that were lining up, including our former Senator Nelson, to kiss his butt, I knew then it was over.
These politicians are so corrupt in Washington, D.C., that there is no justice in this country anymore. If anything, the spotlight is on that. This judge had the guts to stand up to it. None of the judges in Washington would have done this because they would have missed all these parties, like you said. The fact is that the Justice Department is corrupted. I mean, this is a major problem in this country, and the people see it.
Well, they're dirt. What you have dirty cops,
all over the place.
Mm-hmm. Now let me ask you again. I don't want to get sidetracked on this, but why do you think the media are hyping up these stupid UFO hearings constantly?
One of two things: either a distraction, although I did hear a pilot that said he saw something.
Oh, please.
Could be a top secret thing that the United States is doing that they don't want anyone else to know about. Aliens
are not visiting the Earth and have never visited the Earth. It's all nonsense.
I think so too, but I think it could be top secret stuff that we don't want out.
Mm-hmm.
That could be,
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Take care, Richie. All right. Take care. All right. Let's go. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Patrick, and I'm calling from Delaware. How are you, bro?
Oh my goodness. The scene of the crime.
Actually, it's a little more intense than that.
Really?
Just want to say, first of all, it's a real honor to talk to you, brother. I've been listening to you for years. I'm a big Trumper. My wife is Julianne Murray, and she is the lead counsel for the Heritage Foundation.
Oh.
in the amicus brief.
I love the Heritage Foundation. They're good people.
They are great people. Met a couple of them yesterday. I was in the courtroom yesterday.
Really?
Yes, sir.
Well, tell us about it.
My wife's lead counsel, amicus brief that the judge actually referenced as a 900-page filing and why she should take this plea. Hunter is just as scummy as everybody.
How close were you to Hunter Biden?
I was 4 rows away from him.
What's he like in person? What's he look like?
He stands up there with all the other arrogant elitist
Well, well, what I mean is, does he come off like he doesn't have a, like, for example, when I met Tucker Carlson a couple weeks ago, my biggest takeaway from Tucker, he lives on another plane of existence where there's no worry about anything in the world. Is in person, when you saw Hunter Biden in the courtroom yesterday, does he come off as no worries, totally at peace, and just arrogant? Or would he be like me, like freaked out that I'm going to go to jail?
Oh, no. It was a country club social gathering up in the front.
Really?
The defense table. The longtime friend, lawyer Abby Lowell was up there. I mean, these guys paid $1,800, $2,000 an hour to be a lawyer for these people, and they can't even wear a press shirt or a suit that doesn't have stains on it.
Well, the one lawyer was smoking the bong. I mean, they're junkies.
Yes, they are, and that's probably what you were just referencing about at the dinner where all these millionaires and everything. They're all debaucherous. They're all reprobates. I mean, it's a club. So before Trump came down, obviously I knew about Trump, but when Trump came down the escalator, it was a big wake-up call for me about rich people, because I look at people like the Bidens and you really start to think the only people that can become that wealthy are criminals. It's so rare you see someone like President Trump who makes money honestly and is so successful. So when he was in the courtroom yesterday, he didn't look like he had any concerns at all at any point? No, none. Sweating, no, he just was arrogant.
When I've had to go to traffic court, right? And even in traffic court, I'm like, I hope I didn't miss a notice to report to jury duty or something. You know what I mean? Even if I go to traffic court, I'm worried.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. When I was a kid, I did the same thing.
Yeah. But Hunter went in there. He was completely confident. He knew the fix was in, and he had no worries. Oh my goodness. What's he look like in person? How tall is he?
He's probably about 6 foot.
Looking at him in person, would you know that, like, if it wasn't Hunter, would you know that he was like a drug addict and everything, or does he clean up so well? Because if somebody's like a junkie, even when they clean themselves up, they still look like an addict. What about Hunter?
No red rimmed eyes, no bloodshot eyes. He cleaned up well, had a haircut.
Were you in the courtroom before he arrived, or was he already there when you went in? So when he arrived in the courtroom, what was the reaction of the people in the courtroom, the audience, like you?
None really. We just saw the door open and a line of lawyers came in. The one that's been on the CNN, the guy with the beard, the real dude, and the Secret Service guys. He only had 2 Secret Service guys and 2 U.S. Marshals with them in. So yeah, it wasn't a real big, here comes the prince or anything like that.
It looked that way when he drove up in that motorcade.
Oh yeah, not a care in the world. Let me get out. I'm Mr. Precious and all that crap.
But I'll tell you what. Your wife and the Heritage Foundation people. To me, it's a national embarrassment that the world look at this country led by the most criminal people that have ever been in the world. And I know whenever there's a president, half the country hate him. You know, Bill Clinton, he had some sex problems, but this is an organized criminal family like in The Godfather.
Yeah. Oh, definitely a big comparison right there. I mean, I think that this country's been like that for the longest time.
Not at this level.
That's who got to the politicians in the beginning, was all the mafia.
Now, Peter Schweitzer, when he had his first book out, the Clinton Cash book, I heard him interviewed by Breitbart. And Peter Schweitzer, he talked about Biden then. He was vice president. He said, all the top people in Washington have these crooked deals going on. And he said this, I'll never forget it. But Vice President Joe Biden has taken it to another level. He has more people in his family doing corrupt dealings than any other person ever in Washington. So he's taken it to a much larger scale than has ever been done before. And that's what's running our country. And to me, it's frightening that he takes bribes and he's the president. He could get us in. He very well could have gotten us involved in a proxy war with Russia in exchange for bribe money.
Yeah, the warmongers are right there, and you're right. It's been going on. It's just that for so long that they're all coming out of the woodwork now because they don't think they have anything to worry about. They got the Chinese backing them up. They got Soros money.
Yeah.
They care anymore coming out, and they know they've got the iron.
So did you stay there the whole time? Did you have to stay in the courtroom until Hunter left?
Yeah.
So what was that like? How did he walk by you? How close were you when he walked in and out?
I was 3 people away.
Oh my goodness.
On the bench.
Oh, that's pretty close.
Total arrogance and
really
tripping.
So okay, that's interesting. Okay, now I'm interested in that. So was there a difference in his being at the end than there was at the beginning? Like when it was over, was he still arrogant, or was he like, oh man, now I'm facing something?
Well, the thing was, since it all fell apart on him, the judge ordered that, or asked him to give his plea at this time, since everything is off the table now, and he had to plead not guilty.
Mm-hmm.
So what she ordered was a pre-trial investigation. She ordered him to report to the probation guy and the marshal service, and that kind of.
Could you hear the judge and Hunter speaking? Could you hear their voices during the proceeding?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so what were their voices like? The judge, was she kind of in a, because judges, like I remember one time in traffic court, the judge tossed out my thing and I didn't say thank you, judge, and he was pissed. He said, thank you, judge. I said, thank you, judge. Was she tough with him, or was it just procedural? Did she look like she was pissed that she didn't know about all these things? And that phone call where they pretended to be the prosecutors to the clerk and all, did she seem upset in her tone?
Yes. Yeah, well, she was more upset with both the Clark, the defense counsel, and Wise, the prosecutor, because she sniffed it out that they were trying to pull a fast one on her and slip it by her.
Well, there was one thing I heard reported, and I want to know if you heard this. I heard it reported that the judge apologized to Hunter.
There was apologies because it was more a condolence of, I'm sorry that you had to go through this.
Oh my gosh.
Lord.
When do she's looking to blame the lawyer. Okay, now when he said, see, it's the reason I'm asking all these little things, because in federal courtrooms there's no cameras, so all we have is the sketch art. You don't, when things are in federal court, you don't get the feeling that you do because there's no television camera. When he pled not guilty, what was his voice like then? Was he like, not guilty, Your Honor, or was he like kind of wimpy?
It was kind of like, you're actually bothering me to have to give you a plea now.
Yeah,
I mean,
wow.
Arrogant.
Really? Did he stand up when he said it?
He did not.
Get out of town! He didn't stand up when he pled not guilty?
No.
Oh, my goodness. Because he's the prince. Well, listen, I thank you for your call. I got to run for a break, but you gave some insight that I've not heard anywhere else from all these people that were in the courtroom. And I know maybe it sounded petty to you, but I think getting the feel and the tone in the courtroom is interesting.
Oh, definitely. That's why I called you.
Well, great.
I've never had a reason to call you before. I just listened to you and see you on the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And tell your wife, Kathy, hello from Delaware.
Will do. All right. All right. Listen, I got to run. I'm 5 minutes late for the break, but thank you for your call and the insight. All right. Take care. We'll be right back.
Hard.
Oh, my goodness.
Delivered
That was an amazing call.
right here on The Steve Kane Show.
A simple here.
That was an amazing call. See, you never know who's listening, guys. You never know.
I mean, from what he made it sound like Hunter's like, oh, my dad's going to take care of this once this is over.
I've never heard of someone not standing up when they're talking to the judge before.
He doesn't think he
doesn't care.
have to.
He doesn't care, yeah.
Also, the only thing that I took out of the weird whistleblower FBI
Yeah.
alien stuff is the one thing I caught is they didn't say aliens. They just said
Non-human, which could be a cat or a dog
Exactly.
or a monkey.
People, something.
Exactly, a fish.
They're not saying extraterrestrial. They stopped saying extraterrestrials. They're just saying non-human.
Non-human. Hey, have you heard a spot for Al Knight giving away Beach Boy tickets? Because he told me
Yesterday, I'm pretty sure.
in the morning, because I didn't hear it yesterday. Because he keeps wanting me to plug it, but I wanted to wait until I heard the spot on the show, because I don't know if they wanted to promote it yet.
I played it in the morning yesterday. I think it was after the show.
Okay.
I remember hearing it for sure.
Okay.
I just can't remember when.
Okay, because I don't know. I don't want to do it until I hear the spot, in case maybe they don't want to promote it yet.
Back in the yesterday's thing and look in the morning.
Well, just see if it's playing today. I was going to ask Jody after, but yeah. Well, our station's sponsoring a Beach Boys concert, and they're giving away tickets on the weekend. I'm not sure if it's this weekend or next weekend, and the weekend guy wants me to promote it, but I'm not seeing the commercial. No, I don't see it. Exactly. I'm worried about those aliens, not the space aliens. No, don't see it. All right. All right, that last call was something. You never know who's listening, do you? No, you never know. You never know. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Is it me, Rob, from California?
Sounds like you.
Okay, listen, I got a question for you about yesterday, and then I have a prediction. My question yesterday is, when you went to Dr. Appleton, did the Brian Craig fan club show up?
Well, there were listeners there actually that were getting treatment when I walked in. I was surprised. There was one woman wanted to take a picture of me, and I had my shirt off, so I didn't think that was a good idea to take because I was getting the treatment done. I didn't think it was a good idea to take a picture with my shirt off with a woman, other than my wife. But yeah, no, I ran into some listeners yesterday there, absolutely. Did I leave you speechless, Rob? I guess it was the part about the shirt off that got him. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Jeff from Maine, right?
Hey, Jeff, it's amazing. We have like a spectacular call, and then we have like the worst possible call. It's amazing. Hey, Jeff, what's up?
Hey, if Hunter gets to court and found guilty,
good old Joe will just pardon them anyway. You know, the DOJ could do this for show, saying, you know, we found them guilty of a few little things, but they'll never find them guilty of the major crimes.
Yeah.
Our deal's completely gone. And you said something about the aliens, and in the scriptures it says that there's the rapture or the caught up of the church is called out. Everyone alive in Christ and the dead in Christ rise. And I think that alien thing is going to be the explanation of the people on earth saying, you know, these people were awful, you know, Christians are persecuted all the time, and the aliens took them. I think that's something that's going to happen.
Well, some people believe that the reason the aliens are being discussed on TV so much is they think if there's aliens, it'll make people leave the church. They won't believe in Christianity if there's alien life. And you know what? That's like saying because Jesus didn't come to North America, we're not Christian here. So no, I wouldn't subscribe to. There's some stories that the media do when it's a slow news period. Anytime you see shark bite stories in the news, it's a slow news day. And I was thinking that about the aliens, and maybe this is just a true diversion. If they're talking about aliens on the news in this alien hearing, they don't have to show Hunter going to court. I don't know. It seems strange to me.
Yeah, the timing is very off on that. But they don't have much for distraction from what Biden's doing to our country.
Well, you know, if you're a liberal, right, and you don't get your news from where we do, you get your news from CNN and MSNBC. And I imagine yesterday that millions of Democrat Americans, for the first time, learned that Hunter Biden was in legal trouble. I think because they did carry it on CNN and MSNBC, the whole deal yesterday for hours, and I think their viewers are probably shocked to see what was going on. It's a very, you know, they've been ignoring Hunter's problems on CNN and MSNBC until yesterday.
And now they're forced to. I wonder what changed, because I don't think the Democrats are going to impeach Biden because they do not like Kamala Harris and they don't want her in there.
Mm-hmm. I don't think so. I was talking about this yesterday. Just because we don't like Kamala doesn't mean Democrats don't. I know, like, Pelosi doesn't like her. When Pelosi first met Kamala Harris, Kamala was having an affair with Willie Brown, the married mayor of San Francisco, who was a big deal back then, and it was at a campaign or an official function, and she was introduced to Pelosi as Willie Brown's girlfriend, which means that she's a terrible, person. So I know Nancy Pelosi doesn't respect Kamala, but like I said yesterday, Obama is the one who made her vice president, told Biden to make her vice president. So Obama likes her, and so I wouldn't assume that they don't like Kamala, that they don't want her. I wouldn't assume that just because we don't like her.
Do you think they're going to use the 25th Amendment and get rid of Biden?
No, I think he's going to resign over health issues. Is what I think they're going to. That's what they're going to do. But that is what I keep saying over and over and over is the Republicans did not uncover any of this evidence or whistleblowers. It's been handed to them by the deep state. So the deep state are bringing him down. This isn't like James O'Keefe uncovered some evidence and now there's a hearing in the House because James O'Keefe broke this story. All of this information was handed to them by the FBI. So the deep state, the reason I say he's going to resign is because the deep state are trying to bring him down. It's not the Republicans that are doing this.
Do you think it's because they're finally embarrassed of him and his?
He did something. He did something that we're not sure of. He did something that alienated them. I'm not exactly sure what it is, but it's the FBI that are bringing him down, not the Republicans are the tool that the FBI are using, but all the evidence was given to them by the FBI, the whistleblower, the bank accounts, these IRS guys. That's all been handed to the Republicans.
I got one more question for you, Brian, because I believe it will be a tell-all. Who are they going to choose to be vice president under Harris?
That's an unknown. I think a lot of them would like Mayor Pete.
What about the governor of California, Newsom? They said they were thinking about running him for president.
That's possible. That's possible. Newsom or Mayor Pete. Listen, I got to run, Jeff. Thanks for the call, okay? Now, we're going to take our break for the top of the hour. Callers on hold, stand by. My name is Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. We'll be back right after our top of the hour break.
WWNN Pompano Beach, WIRK HD3 Indiantown. Programming paid for by Vic Canales Media Group. Broadcasting from the Rogue Studio. Injured recently? Call the Rogues Law Group, where winning is a habit. 561-570-5700. 561-570-5700. Rogues, winning for you and our community. Your home for the Steve Kane Show. From the Palm Beach Patio Furniture Weather Center, where luxurious outdoor spaces are created, here's the Oldies forecast.
Good day, everybody. Hope you're off to an awesome start. So we're going to see a daytime high today, about 90 degrees, but there's a flood watch up, and we're going to see pockets of heavy rain throughout the course of the day. It is going to be quite wet out there, so take it easy. There's risk of flooding throughout. I'm WPBF 25 First Warning Meteorologist Sandra Shaw.
Weather brought to you by Palm Beach Patio Furniture. Route 170 Shops, North Palm Beach. Palm Beach Patio Furniture. Voted in the best of the best patio store in Palm Beach County. PalmBeachPatioFurniture.com, where luxurious outdoor spaces are created.
And now, a True Oldies traffic check. Brought to you by the Palm Beach Kennel Club.
Hello? Hold on. Oh, well, guys, welcome. If you're new, make sure you subscribe, everyone, okay? Yeah, I'm turning my thing off during the break so he can't hear during the break. I forgot to turn it back on. I just turned it on. You should be able, when I come back, you should be able to hear it. What? Steve's mic's not working? Did you reboot it? To me, it sounded like it was muted. You mean normally you can hear? Hold on, let me see. Talk into it now. No, I don't hear you. Let's see, are they connected? Hold on. Yeah, you're connected. Try again. You're connected. Did you unplug and plug the mic back in? Is there a mute button on the... The only thing I don't know, you'd have to call the engineer, Don. I mean, I don't know what else to do. You're hearing me, and you are right. So and you're connected. But I'm not hearing you. But I only got a minute here. I gotta get back. We can do that. We can have him on the phone, and then he can call the engineer after the show. Okay. That's what happened yesterday. The mic went dead on their end. No.
You probably had your things to talk about, but McConnell's freeze up.
Oh, yeah, I'll get to that. Absolutely.
That was worrisome.
Absolutely. No, I think there's. I think he's got a headset microphone. I think it might be broken. Might need a new one. But I'm limited on what I can do because I'm not there.
Saturday mornings at 10 a.m. Hosted by Giant Recreation World Second Generation owner and CEO Larry Magnaman.
All right, we're coming back, guys.
RBF, Saturday mornings, 10 a.m. right here on the True.
On the air since 1977, it's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
All right, we are back. Call us on hold, stand by. I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show on the radio since 1977. If you're just tuning in, we're talking about Hunter Biden and what happened yesterday. We had a spectacular call from a man who was actually in the courtroom with Hunter Biden yesterday in the first hour. And we uncovered something that's been reported this morning, that the prosecutor in the Hunter Biden case, get this, the prosecutor was Joe Biden's attorney when he was vice president, his press spokesperson when he was in the Senate, and he sends emails to Hunter signed, "Love you, brother." That's the prosecutor. Yeah, that's the American system of justice. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, conservative Doug. You know, man, I talked to that Democrat I know that knows W. Washington Shields. And as far as he's concerned, I said, look at Hunter. His plea deal is gone. Oh, he'll just pardon him. I said, what about Joe being impeached? What do you think? Oh, bring it on. The Senate will never do anything against Joe Biden. I said, so what you're doing is you're really admitting that the Senate, even though there's all this evidence, is corrupt.
See, Democrats don't care, okay? I realized this many years ago. When Bill Clinton was going through the Monica Lewinsky scandal, which people don't seem to think is exciting now, but when you found out that the President of the United States was having sex with a 25-year-old intern in the Oval Office while he was on the phone to foreign leaders, including the Russian president, Boris Yeltsin, who was around at the time, it was a pretty big deal. And we had this lady in studio. We had a lady in studio, an elderly lady, and not only was she defending Bill Clinton, she had a button on her shirt that was a picture of her granddaughter who was about Monica's age. And Steve said to her, and she gave a reaction that I was blown away by, as was Steve in the audience. Steve said, well, what about your 25-year-old granddaughter? If you found out that she was doing with Bill Clinton what Monica was doing, how would that make you feel? She said, I'd be proud of her. She'd be proud of her granddaughter if she was having oral sex with President Clinton. And I realized then, that's the Democrats. You know, Democrats do not care when their people are doing crimes or other things. They just don't care.
So that we have running the Senate, all these criminals basically.
Yes.
That's what this is going. That's what man.
Running the country.
So, yeah, you know, I said, you know, with all this evidence, he says, it's all talk. There's no evidence. There's nothing. He's a great president. Blah blah blah. I went into his whole routine, but this is sickening, there, man. You want us to not impeach a guy with all this crime, and he's not getting...
Well, don't you think that there should be a change of venue? Is it really appropriate for the prosecutor to have been the attorney for the defendant's father, the spokesperson for the defendant's father, and sending emails to the defendant signed, "Love your brother"? That seems to be a conflict of interest in that prosecutor's office.
Yeah, man, the criminal justice system is messed up, unbelievable, man. This guy should be out. But this is the system we got, and until we vote everybody out, this is not going to change.
Yeah.
We're going to be. This is really. Every day you hear more and more. You say, "Wow, you know, I can't believe it could be this bad."
Mm-hmm.
You know, everybody. I always notice there's problems, but I don't think it was this bad. This is terrible.
Yep, it sure is.
We better get out and vote and vote and vote. Make sure these.
Yeah.
Oh man.
It's pretty bad. Pretty bad. All right, take care. Thanks for the call, Doug. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
It's me, Rob, again. My prediction is I think that Joe Biden is going to run again, and he's not going to step down. He's going to have to be impeached because he's arrogant.
Yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe you're right. All right, thanks for the call. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Mike from Louisiana.
Hey, Mike.
You know, I think what's happening here with this information that's being served to the Republicans on a silver platter. We know that these people are so scummy in Washington. They're not above blackmail. I think they've already went to Joe Biden and asked him to resign, and he said no by basically saying, I'm running again. So what they're going to do is they're going to serve this information of which they have to the Republicans, and the Republicans are going to drop the impeachment letters and stuff and do all that stuff, and they're going to send it to the Senate, and they're going to go to Biden and say, look, if you don't resign now, we're going to hold this trial.
Well, he could just, why doesn't Joe could just pardon? You know, when you see how scummy the Democrats are, if Joe pardoned Hunter, I don't think the Democrats would care. They would praise him for it.
Right, they would praise him for it, but I'm talking about Joe himself, getting Joe out. We know they don't want Joe in. We know they don't want him running, but he's already said he's going to run.
That's right. That's right. Hey, Mike, that's some good points. Thanks for the call. Have you guys seen the conditions of Hunter's release? Listen to this. Now, if Hunter does not comply with the conditions of his release, he can be arrested. It doesn't say that he will be arrested, but he can be arrested. And the conditions that the judge put on Hunter, I'm going to go through these. Let me know if you think Hunter can abide by these. All right. Our number, by the way, 1-888-GO-CANE 1-888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. Okay, so the judge is requiring Hunter Biden to follow the following restrictions, and these are the conditions of his release. 1, he cannot possess a firearm. Well, that's an easy one to do. 2, do not use, now this is a tough one for Hunter. Do not use or possess any controlled substances, including marijuana, unless prescribed. Wow. Do doctors prescribe coke? 3, submit to full federal supervision. Well, he has that already. You saw the motorcade. 4, no use of alcohol at all. No controlled substances, no marijuana, no alcohol. Those are really tough. Now, the next one, this is a real tough one, too. Seek active employment. Now, Joe could just make him a senior advisor. That would be a job, I guess. 6, submit to testing for prohibited substances. And finally, participate in substance abuse therapy. Well, that's probably, he's always in substance abuse therapy. That's just, that's how he socializes. Is there anyone out there who believes that he can remain drug and alcohol free? There's no way in hell, okay? And if they're really testing him, not someone else, he couldn't pass these conditions. There's no way. He couldn't comply if he wanted to. But I don't think he wants to. I think he's so arrogant, especially after we heard about his behavior in the courtroom from the caller who was in the courtroom yesterday. But there's no way he can comply. He's a lifetime addict. And, people that are drug addicts, that are hardcore drug addicts, when they do a little bit of cocaine and weed, they don't consider those drugs, right? When you're a drug addict at that level, you give up the hardcore stuff, but you do a little blow, you do a little weed, that's okay. That's just, that's like having Coca-Cola or iced tea to the rest of us. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Good morning.
Oh, is that me?
Sounds like you.
Oh, okay, Brian. Hey, good morning. Hey, I just wondered, I haven't heard anything about anybody talking about the judge yet. Does anybody have concerns about her yet?
Well, I don't trust any of these people. I don't see, when she apologized, this judge apologized that Hunter had to be put through this yesterday. So I've never heard of a judge apologizing to a defendant before.
I know, that's what worries me. Like, do you think it's going to be moved somewhere else now?
No. I think what the judge did yesterday, I don't think is what she wanted to do. I think there's a spotlight on her, and she had to do it. Because if she didn't do it, it would look like she was corrupt. But she didn't want to do it. And to blame and to apologize because of his lawyers, he did crime. Plural, well, crimes. Serious federal crimes. What's she apologizing to him for? And I'll tell you, I thought the caller that was in the courtroom in the last hour said that when he pled not guilty, he didn't even stand up. I've never heard of a defendant not standing up when they're talking to a judge. Never heard.
Yeah, that was a good caller you had. You know, that was good stuff there that he had, you know, to say. And
well, he was a very good caller, but I think the questions were pretty good too. But anyway, yeah. So no, I don't trust this judge. This judge is bad news. Have you ever heard of a federal judge apologizing to a defendant in a courtroom? Are you kidding? Never heard of such a thing.
No, I know, and that's what scares me.
I'm not scared. You know, this country's been through a lot. Dust bowls, depression, civil war. We'll get through it.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, and I do believe we will get through it, but it was just something that concerned me, you know.
See, this is the way they look at this. This is their country, and we're just living in it, okay? And all of us talking about their crimes and everything are getting in the way of their business. They're not worried. Hunter's not worried. They're just annoyed. They're mildly annoyed that they have to go through these motions. How hard do you think it was for Hunter to be up and out of the house and dressed and look presentable at a time when he's probably just rolling out of bed? Very difficult. I imagine, because he's basically, you know, moved in with his parents, but I imagine that they had people going in there every 5 minutes, like with your teenagers in high school. Get up, Hunter. We got to be in court. Wake up, Hunter. Okay, 5 more minutes. I bet you that's how he was yesterday.
Yeah, telling him to put his crack pipe away.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Do you think he can remain drug and alcohol free, which are the conditions of his release?
No, absolutely not.
Mm-mm. All right. Hey, listen, thanks for the call, man. All right, we'll break and be back.
Don't sit on the sidelines. Get in on the action. Call the Steve Kane Show live on air now. 888-GO-KANE-1. This is the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
Hey, Scott Shannon here with a question.
Be right back, guys.
A free doorbell camera. You get a doorbell camera, you get a doorbell camera, and you get a doorbell camera. I wish we had them for everyone, but the first 40 true oldies channel listeners to call 833-283-5050 will get a free doorbell camera that connects directly to your cell phone with installation of your Sloman Shield. Here you see your home right from the palm of your hand. And that's not all. Sloman's going to give you a free customized home security system and professional installation when you use their low-cost central station monitoring. So you're getting an LED touchscreen pad, a motion detector, 3-arm doors, and a backup battery. Plus, if you're one of the first 40 true oldies channel listeners to dial 833-283-5050, you'll receive a free doorbell camera with the installation of your Sloman Shield. So call Sloman's now for this limited time offer. 833-283-5050. That's 833-283-5050.
When you need lab work, don't waste hours and hours waiting at the doctor's office of one of those big labs. Go to any lab test now at Boca and any lab test now at Coral Springs. Their prices are guaranteed to be...
What size pillow do you guys have? Queen or king? Because I got to talk about my pillow when we get back. King or queen? What size pillow do you guys have? Do you know even?
They even have drug testing and STD testing. Take control of your lab care and visit any lab test now at Boca and any lab test now at Coral Springs.
King?
There's lots of other lab tests.
Rome has a king.
But these are the only two advertising on our radio station. So don't use the rest.
King, queen, both. Standard.
Any lab test now at Coral Springs. And make sure you tell them you heard about
Queen?
it on the radio.
Hey, this is Ken.
I don't know what size pillows I have.
We're looking to buy more houses here in South Florida and would love to make
I have no idea.
cash offer on your home. If you own a house, condo, or any other type of property and want to sell it quickly with no hassles, call me at 561-570
We've been buying houses since 2011.
The Queen 2.0?
Hundreds of homeowners sell their homes without the hassles and costs of listing with an agent. We're rated A+ with the Better Business Bureau and have over 100 excellent online reviews from our happy sellers. People love working with us, and so will you. Whether you have a damaged fixer-upper home or
I have a queen size bed, but that doesn't mean we don't have king size pillows.
and there's no commissions or closing costs. If you want to sell your home easily on your terms, call us today for a free offer. 561-570-7070. That's 561-570-7070. 561-570-7070.
Hello, this is Mike at Friendly Tire. I've been in business 30 years at the same location and offering great deals on new and used tires. I have many suppliers. Whatever car or truck you have, I can get you incredible deals on any tire.
Well, I asked for a reason. Yeah.
Very low prices. Give me a call. My number is 954-977-9445. I will give you a price over the phone on new and used tires. Again, my number is 954-977-9445. Thank you.
Now back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig. Listen in the Palm Beaches on 95.9 FM, the Treasure Coast on 106.9 FM, hear us in Boca on 95.3 FM, Fort Lauderdale on 96.9 FM, and anywhere in the world at TrueOldiesFLA.com.
All right, callers on hold, stand by. It's the Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian Craig, and of course, we're talking about everything that happened with Hunter, uncovered some very interesting things. We even had a caller call in who was in the courtroom just a couple of feet away from Hunter himself. I found out something. My Pillow called me. Mike Lindell's office called me, and they told me something that I did not know about the My Pillow 2.0s with cooling technology. You know, the My Pillow 2.0s with cooling technology come in two sizes, both queen and king. And I don't know which size I have. I don't know. I'll ask my wife when I go home. But they come in queen and king size, the My Pillow 2.0. But regardless of which size you choose, they still are buy one, get one free with our promo code KANE at checkout, K-A-N-E, at MyPillow.com. The My Pillow 2.0 is so many of Mike Lindell's products, life-changing. You know, the whole idea here in the hottest time of the summer, during the worst heat wave I can remember here in Florida, having that cooling technology in the pillow is just an amazing thing. How many times during the summer have you been hot and sweaty at night, flipping the pillow over? How many times a night looking for the cool side? With the My Pillow 2.0, you will never do that again. You will always be the perfect temperature on your head and face with the My Pillow 2.0. And you know, when you flip your pillow over for the cool side, you're interrupting your sleep. It's you know, you're interrupting your sleep to the point where it's basically having sleep apnea. So go to MyPillow.com, order your My Pillow 2.0. Both queen and king size are buy one, get one free with the promo code KANE at checkout, K-A-N-E. You can also order by phone, toll free, 1-800-716-4879, 1-800-716-4879. Promo code KANE, K-A-N-E. All right, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, good morning, Brian. It's Chris from Boynton.
Hey, Chris, what's up?
So, I'm wondering if this judge left herself an out. I thought I heard this reported yesterday. Maybe you heard it. I don't know. Did she give the defense a 30-day chance to submit a summary as to why she should accept the plea deal as it was originally?
I'm not 100% sure on that, but I did hear that discussed yesterday afternoon. So it's possible. I mean, yeah.
Now.
Well, this is what we had yesterday. This is what we picked up yesterday. One, the prosecutor was Joe Biden's attorney when he was vice president. He was his spokesperson when he was in the Senate. And he's friends with Hunter, sending him personal emails signed, "Love you, brother." That's one thing we know. And the judge apologized to Hunter in the courtroom that he had to go through all this. So I've never heard of such things in federal court cases before. So the fix is in. I mean, this is a crooked court, crooked prosecutor, crooked everything. Come on. When have you heard of a judge apologizing to a criminal in their courtroom that they had to face the music.
It's very true. Who was she appointed by?
I don't know the answer to that. Does anyone know? I don't know the answer off the top of my head.
I don't know who she was appointed by, but that would be very interesting.
But, I'll tell you, if you guys know of instances where judges have apologized to defendants in federal courtrooms, yeah, I thought this was I didn't want to say it because I wasn't 100%, and I just heard it. Trump. She's a Trump judge, I've been told. It's been confirmed. Trump.
Well, there you go. Then there might be some validity to her being...
I don't know, and I'll tell you why. No, she was ready to sign off on the sweetheart deal until these things came to the spotlight in the press. She apologized to Hunter yesterday. And, the legal team... No, he wouldn't contact a judge. That'd be crazy. But the prosecutor... there was a happening. Let me pull this story up, because this is insane. The defense did something they should be arrested for. Do you know what I'm talking about? Calling the clerk? Have you heard this story?
Yeah, we heard the story that they tried to fake it, that they were, and the way it's reported is that was the impetus of her getting tweaked and starting to look into this deal and essentially, putting the kibosh.
Well, what happened was the defense's office called the clerk of the court, pretending to be the prosecutors and trying to get evidence, taken out of the court, which to me sounds like a crime. You're impersonating someone to a court officer. The clerk is an officer of the court. I mean, that sounds so criminal, and it's barely gotten a mention. It seems to me that a law office doing something like that, they should be arrested.
And that may well very happen at the end of all of this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, no, I don't... And federal... A lot of the... to be a federal judge, you have to be politically connected to get the appointment. And don't take confidence in that she's a Trump judge. She might want to be on a higher court. And, just because she was appointed by Trump doesn't mean that Biden wouldn't appoint her to a higher court, or a future Democrat would appoint. President Trump's sister was on the federal court. She was appointed by Reagan, right? President Reagan put President Trump's sister on the federal bench, and then President Clinton promoted her to a higher bench. So, I just, yeah.
The other side of the coin of that is that maybe she's hedging her bets that President Trump gets in, and therefore she gets elevated through him, who he had appointed originally.
Well, with this judge, to me, everything that happens, the judge should have been angry. She should have been angry at the lawyers for contacting the clerk like they did. To me...
She had a very angry tone when she spoke.
But was the tone... Yeah. What I'm wondering is what is she angry about? Is she angry that the spotlight's on her and she's got to do these things, or is she really angry that the lawyers were doing shady business? You know what I'm saying? So there's two different types of things to be angry at.
I think there are two things that she was annoyed with. One was the phone call trying to pull the wool over her eyes, and two, trying to ram this, fakakta plea deal by her.
Yeah.
Those are the two things that pissed her off, and that's what made her have that anger.
Well, I'll tell you, when, I had known, or at least I thought that Trump appointed her, I should say. And the reason when you asked me I didn't say that is I thought I must be mistaken, because she apologized to Hunter yesterday that he had to go through all this. You understand what I mean? So I thought, well, maybe I misheard that. Maybe she could. What kind of Trump judge would apologize?
And then she felt the need to do it. I don't know. I'm not going to hold it against her. I love that she put the brakes on this whole thing.
Yeah. All right. Appreciate the call. Take care. If you're on hold, stand by. Back after this.
Making morning radio great again. It's the Steve Kane hits of the 60s and 70s coming up this morning. From the Palm Beach Patio Furniture.
See, the reason... Hey, did you see the spot?
No.
All day? So he keeps asking me to do it, but I don't want to do it.
Weather brought to you by Palm Beach
You
Patio
understand what I mean?
Furniture. Route 1
You know.
Seminole Plaza Shops, North Palm Beach. Palm Beach Patio Furniture. Voted in the best of the best patio store
Yeah.
in Palm Beach County. PalmBeachPatioFurniture.com, where luxurious outdoor
I don't know. I'm
spaces
sure it's not a problem, but I don't want to do it without running it by Jody and trying to... Might screw up their plan.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Siegel's next.
Oh, is he on hold?
Oh, no, no.
Oh, the next break. Oh, okay.
Traffic, a service of the Palm Beach Kennel Club. PBKC is Palm Beach County's only OTB location featuring betting action from top horse tracks.
Oh, goodness.
Saratoga Racetrack. Visit our incredible paddock restaurant with over 130 new HD TVs, screens, exceptional dining, a full bar, and an impressive wine list. The paddock is also your best bet for special events. Go to pbkennelclub.com. Brian Craig here. I've been telling you about how my chiropractor, Dr. Philip Hamilton, is leading the pain for a knee injury and arthritis.
Hello, hold on. I've seen it happen more than once. I'm not saying that's what they're doing. I mean, yeah. I know, and that's like that's embarrassing. Well, sometimes the phones are slow, but there's a difference. I know some people that they know they have someone listening to the show, and it's like, you know what I mean? It's tough. You know what I mean? Oh, because you know it. You can tell.
Yeah,
you know.
It's oh.
You know. Yeah. We're recording some commercials with somebody after the show, so we were coordinating. Welcome, everyone. Sorry, just resting my voice a little bit, guys. I do so much talking. Between talking on the air and my podcast and everything, it's yeah. Today my mouth's a little tired.
The Green Market is a licensed SNAP provider, so you can shop with eligible SNAP vendors. Double your SNAP benefits at the Green Market with fresh ActicFox, dollar-for-dollar match. You snap, we match. This is a program at the Delray Beach Community Redevelopment Agency. See you on Saturday.
Just because you're getting older doesn't mean you have to feel older. This is Brian Craig, and I want to tell you about my anti-aging doctor, Dr. Mitch Matez at the Bayou Station, West Delray.
Sign language? Why do I need to learn sign language? How can you do sign language on the radio?
What it does is restore your hormones to where they were when you were in your 20s.
I'd never learn it. I was so afraid that I wasn't going to graduate college because I had such a hard time. You have to do, in Florida, you have to pass 2 semesters of a foreign language. Oh my goodness. That was so freaking hard for me. I took every language. I took Spanish, I don't know how many times, German, multiple times, French, multiple times. I always dropped it before the drop date. But finally, Spanish. I barely got through it. Thankfully, the final was not comprehensive. I'd have been done. Spanish 2, 1102, oh my goodness. So sign language, I'm just, I'd be done with sign language.
Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig, celebrating 46 years on.
All right, callers on hold, stand by. We're talking about all this business with Hunter. Now, Mike Pence, I saw this story in Breitbart during the break. Mike Pence unveils 4-point plan to combat Biden's inflation nightmare. This guy's a grifter, all right? He's a con man grifter, Pence. He knows he has no chance. It's like Benedict Arnold running against General Washington here in the Republican primary after the revolution. And, I don't know what his plan is, but I'll give you what the 4-point plan. This is the Brian Craig 4-point plan to combat Biden's inflation. Vote Trump, vote Trump, vote Trump, and vote Trump. That's it. That's how you combat it, all right? In fact, it'll fix the entire economy. That's my 4-point plan. All right, let's go back to our phones. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hello?
Yes, you're on the air.
Oh, okay. I'm Scott, North Lauderdale. And in 1973, when I was 16, I met one man, and he said he was going to put a station on the air. It turned out to be Roby Young for Y100. But after he said, come on in and hang out with me. After the first day, I didn't hear him on the air. I stopped in. The program director told me, what do you want to know? I said, he told me I could stop in. He said he got fired on the first day. He got fired at WABC-AM in 1969 for spreading a rumor Paul McCartney may be dead. Then in 74, when I was stuffing the surveys into the to send out to the music stores, one man started to talk to me at the station, and he said, come back to the back office, I want to talk to you. I didn't know who he was, and John Hartman, the music director, said, Scott, go back with him, it's okay. We spoke for over 2 hours. I still didn't know who he was. Then I was told that was Cecil Heftel, the billionaire broadcaster that owns Y100. And we talked about, my dad was military, it's just winding down, and he was career. And he wanted to know all about that stuff. They told him about me and my mom. My mom was a professor. But Heftel ran for Congress in 1976 from Hawaii and won. But he came out and wrote the book "End Legalized Bribery," an ex-congressman's proposal, because he was disgusted at what he saw. And then he ran for governor of Hawaii. Then all his competition just brought up he's a quitter, and so then he went back into broadcasting.
Yeah.
That way, but it's so disgusting. He was so disgusted at. I'm in contact with 2 of the first.
Well, I'll tell you this. Okay, when it comes to politicians that are in Congress, if you've ever met a congressman that's been in Washington for over 2 terms, I've never met one that wasn't a millionaire, and the reason they're rich is because once you get into your 3rd term, they open up the books to you. They make you a made man. You become a part of the mafia family.
Yeah, no, Cecil Heptel was an honest, straight shooter, you know? He was a no-nonsense guy, you know? He became a billionaire.
Yeah. Yep. Well, those were the days. Y100. Yeah, that's Y100. I worked at Y100 before. I was not on the air. I was not on the air, but I worked at Y100. I took out the carts for the music and the commercials for the jocks to play. I don't even know. I don't know if you'd call that actually working. But, hey, listen, I appreciate the call, though. Thanks so much. A little South Florida radio history. All right. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, everyone everywhere. This is Roy in Richmond.
Okay. Are you famous, Roy? Are you famous? The way you did that...
No, I'm not famous. I'm just...
Oh, okay. Just confident. You're just a confident man.
Sitting in my car to tell you how much I miss President Trump.
Oh, yeah, I know. Well, you know what? If you move to Florida, you can always be close because Mar-a-Lago's here.
Right. Right on. I could go skateboarding with you, too. That would be awesome.
I don't know. I think I'm going to retire the skateboard.
That's cool, man. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do. But anyway, I just called to say that this is all part of Obama's transformation. It's the first and worst of everything. Obama was the first and worst black president, and Hunter Biden is just the first crackhead son we've ever had. And instead of asking, where's Hunter, now everyone asks, where's Hunter's crack?
Yeah, that's true. In fact, yeah.
Anything goes. Take money from China, take money from big tech, corporate fascism, Marxism, you know, hang a flag, a demonic, satanic flag on the White House and act like it's all good in the hood. Come on, man.
Mm-hmm. All right, take care, man. Appreciate it, Roy. Very confident Roy there. You know, the caller before that, because people are wondering, why did I let that guy go on so long? I thought he was building up to something. Because he was talking about, he met this guy at Y100, then he got fired, then he met this other guy that got fired, and I thought he was building up to, like, you know, a story, but there was no story. And there was no ending. There was a beginning, but there was no story and no ending. That's why it was, you know, it was kind of like No Country for Old Men, no ending. All right, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
I'm sorry I'm double dipping.
Once per... Well, only because you were in the courtroom with Hunter am I allowing you the second dip on the phone in the same day.
I need to clarify something, brother. She did not apologize to Hunter for what he's going through. She apologized because the lawyers were playing games.
Yeah, you know, that... I understand, and that can be sarcasm, and, you know, and that could... The problem with not having cameras in a federal courtroom is such a terrible thing because you lose context of statements that are released and things like that you get. And I think there should be cameras in all the federal courtrooms so people can see what's going on and have some context. But hey, listen, did you call twice? Appreciate the call, all right? Take care. Yes. It's one call per day, and I've had 2 people slip through today. 2. You know, the reason you do that is if you let people call, most shows say once a week. I'm not that nuts, but most people that say once a week are people that can't get calls, so they, you know, but they try to act like they can. The reason you have to have a 1 call per show limit is if you let people call back and you let that be okay, some people will call back 4, 5, 6, 7 times. And I take the call screenless. I don't know who's on the phone until I click them on the air. And if we allowed people to call multiple times, there'd be some people that would call a dozen times a show. And it doesn't sound good. And it sounds like you got a small audience. And, you know, because sometimes there's someone I know that does another show, and their callers are always checking in. Oh, it's Marcy, just checking in. I'm not going to say the name of the person. You know, we don't, you know, you don't want to say, you know, just a little tip. All right, we'll take our last break of the second hour and be right back.
The cold, hard truth. Delivered morning 6 to 9 right here on The Steve Kane Show.
All right, and it's time to check in with Attorney Barry Siegel from the Siegel Law Group. Barry, good morning.
Good morning, Brian. How are you?
Good. I've lost track. When is you've got a couple seminars coming up, and there are two different types of seminars. So can we clarify the dates on those?
Well, yeah. Actually, we have one in the office today, and it's beyond sold out. So.
Oh boy.
That I'm not going to really talk about. But, that's our Living Trust seminar. We do those every 2 weeks. I know we have another one coming up. I don't have that date handy. I was going to talk about the other one. The other one that we're doing, the Successor Trustee Seminar, is on August 8th in our office. And, the point about that one is, and that's when we do it just once every so often, perhaps once a quarter. But what we really try to achieve at the Siegel Law Group is, we're a law firm that really does one thing. It's planning. And, there are a lot of lawyers out there that, try to do a little bit of everything. What I used to call, when I was just starting out, door law, whatever comes in the door. And so, there are lawyers out there, they'll do your personal injury case, they'll do your bankruptcy, your immigration. If you need a will, they'll do that. And all we do is the estate planning. Now, estate planning, elder law, and probate, they're all interrelated. So it's all about planning and about your estate. So what we've tried to do is look at things that are going to be important, making sure that people have the right ancillary services like the free calls and the free post-death consultation and the free 3-year reviews to make sure they have a plan that works, to make sure that they have all the forms they need, the checklist, everything that's going to make their estate plan work, make sure that they have the bloodline planning and the Medicaid language so they don't run out of money before they run out of life. And then finally, another thing, and we're always looking for new things that we could do to help clients have a successful estate plan, have a successor trustee training or workshop, that's what we're talking about here, so that their trustees will know what to do. One of the big issues that we see is a trustee comes in, they've never acted as a trustee before, they have no idea what to do. We want to give them some education in advance so they know what to do when the time comes. So you have somebody with some level of experience who may end up being the person handling your affairs for you during your incapacity, and also making sure the legacy you leave to your loved ones goes to the right people and is handled properly. So that's why we do the success.
Yeah, and Attorney Barry Siegel, in your workshops, you talk about this a lot. One of the reasons you fell into this very specific area of practice that you're in at the Siegel Law Group is because you had an incident in your own family where you had to deal with someone had passed away in your immediate family, and there was all kinds of problems.
And really the incident involved my grandmother when she was in a nursing home, and it's about getting the wrong advice. We got the wrong advice. It was the right advice for the nursing home. It made them more money, but they advise, and I'm sure there are many that still to this day give the wrong advice. I'm sure there are some very good ones that will tell you the right thing to do, but sometimes people will tell you the thing to do that is in their own best interest. And because of that advice, my grandmother spent down her assets when she could have protected her assets by seeing an elder law attorney. Back then, I wasn't an attorney. I was still in college, so we didn't know any better. Mm-hmm. I became an attorney and learned better and realized that this didn't have to happen. She didn't have to have the financial insecurity of running out of money, worrying about being a burden on the family, and not being able to leave a legacy to her children. Then it was like, oh my gosh, this is something that I really feel like I need to do. It was calling, and I'm really glad we.
Yeah, and those of you that are here in Florida but have property in New York or somewhere else, and you have everything taken care of in New York, you need to call the Siegel Law Group and get business taken care of here. You can have 2 probates, okay, and you don't want that to happen. Give the Siegel Law Group a call, toll-free, 855-FLA-3782. Remember, it's always a no-charge consultation with the Siegel Law Group when you mention you heard Attorney Barry Siegel on the radio. 855-FLA-3782 and online, SiegelLawGroup.com. All right, have a great workshop today, Barry, and we will talk tomorrow.
Thanks, Brian.
All right, back after this.
Social justice warriors for breakfast. Now the Steve Kane Show is on the air.
All right, it sure is, and I don't care if this judge is appointed by Trump or not. I'm not happy with what I'm hearing. If you're just tuning in, We've learned a lot on today's program, that the prosecutor in the Hunter Biden case was Joe Biden's attorney when he was vice president, his press spokesperson when he was in the Senate, right before he was vice president, and he sent an email to Hunter, a personal one signed, "Love you, brother." That's the prosecutor. So, you know, this is, don't get too excited that the deal got tossed out yesterday. I mean, this is such a corrupt country, a corrupt government, and a corrupt place that we are in, and it's the way it is. Now, Ron DeSantis, it is not looking good for Ron DeSantis. You know, Ron DeSantis, his presidential campaign is the equivalent of the Bud Light marketing campaign. It really is. You know, when that business happened with Bud Light, they didn't have a good moment. They destroyed the brand. Ron DeSantis, as a brand, has been destroyed. And Ron DeSantis had his whole future locked up. He was going to be our second MAGA president in 2028, and he blew it. He betrayed Trump. And it started when he said that he wouldn't interfere with Bragg coming to Florida and arresting President Trump, and then he's running. So, you know, he destroyed his brand like Bud Light destroyed their brand. And he has not had one positive day of news since he announced. If you remember, his announcement was a disaster with the Twitter Spaces announcement with Elon Musk. Remember, it didn't work? And that was a disaster. He's not had a positive day since. And, you know, I don't wear them anymore. I even have Trump DeSantis hats. Trump DeSantis 24 hats. And it wasn't that long ago, a year ago, we were talking, oh man, it's too bad, you know, because of the way the law works, he can't be as vice president, but he can be the second MAGA president in 2028. He had a lock. And then he got Jeb whispering in his ear. He got Karl Rove whispering in his ear. Columba, Jeb's wife, was whispering in Casey DeSantis' ear, and they blew it. They blew it. And I made a prediction a few months ago that I'm going to make again because I want to go on the record with this. Ron DeSantis, as I've been saying, is unelectable forever. Unelectable forever. Okay? And he could not even win his tiny House seat back in Florida. Couldn't win it. He's unelectable forever. And when he's no longer governor, he's going to go through some tough times, right? At some point, he's going to drop out of this race. He's probably going to try to make it through this debate next month, but he's going to be dropping out. And he may be the first to drop out of this current crop of wannabe losers and traitors. But he's still going to be our governor for a while, a couple of years, and that I worry about because he's going to be pissed off at us, okay? But this is the prediction I made about Ron DeSantis. Since he's unelectable forever, what's he going to do for work? And this is what I think he's going to end up doing. I think he's going to end up being on the board of directors of Disney. I've said this before. I'm saying it again. This is my prediction for Ron DeSantis. He's going to end up on the board of directors of Disney. Disney, although they've had some problems lately, they're trying to make some corrections on these wackadoodle wokesters out in California Disney headquarters that have been destroying their brand. Ron DeSantis got creamed by Disney with that Reedy Creek business. They destroyed DeSantis. People don't realize it too much, but they not only did Disney win against DeSantis, it was a humiliating defeat. And he's going to have to make a living. Do you think this guy's going to open up a law practice? No. And he, you know, a lot of times these guys are in government and they're successful, like Marco Rubio, for example. In Florida state government, we have term limits. Marco Rubio was term limited out of office in Tallahassee, and he briefly had a law practice before he was in the Senate, the U.S. Senate. And when you're not politically destroyed like DeSantis, people like Marco Rubio get clients thrown at them by the party because they're waiting for them to run them for federal office, so they throw clients at you. DeSantis isn't going to get that, okay? The Republicans, they're going to drop him You know, like Hunter drops his women off. You know, I mean, that's just what they're going to do. They're not going to help him. He can't open up a practice and have the big money clients thrown his way, and he's got to make a living. And he's gonna get appointed, I believe, to the Disney board of directors, and he's going to make some deals with them to try to come to some agreement before he leaves office as governor, because they still need him. They could use DeSantis to make things a little easier for them in Florida. They'll reward him with and you know what? Ron DeSantis doesn't know any of this yet. I'm not saying this is in his plans, okay? I'm just saying this is what his future is. And they're going to bring him in on the board of directors at Disney so that he can try to bring some respectability back to the company. That's my prediction. And it's just bad news day after bad news day. The DeSantis campaign has laid off dozens of more staff members as the campaign attempts to ease the concern of donors and streamline operations due to Governor Ron DeSantis' lackluster performance in the primary race thus far. The campaign has laid off 38 staffers, which DeSantis' campaign manager described as part of aggressive steps to streamline operations to boost the governor's positions in the poll. That means they're out of money. They've been cut off by the donors. Following a top-to-bottom review of our organization, we've taken additional aggressive steps to streamline operations and put DeSantis in the strongest position to win the primary to defeat Joe Biden. Notice they skip over Trump. Governor DeSantis is going to lead the great America comeback. Yeah, the turtle, just like Jeb, right? And we're ready to hit the ground running as we're streamlined, yeah, right, with no money. Federal filings showed over 90 staffers on the campaign payroll as of June. Now, if you remember a couple weeks back, he laid off another dozen, right, that were advanced people. So that's 38, 50. So he's laid off. He is fired in the last few weeks. It looks to me to be 55 or so percent of his staff, 55 to 60% of his staff he's gotten rid of. And that's a cost-cutting move because they have no more donors donating money. And the debate next month on Fox is an important debate because this is going to be the first debate that doesn't move the needle to help anybody in the debate, no matter how great of a moment someone has. You know, this debate that's coming up next month on Fox News, Nikki Haley may have a good moment. Chris Christie may have a good line. No one cares. It's not going to help anyone. The debate is useless and a non-debate without the greatest president ever, Donald Trump. And it's just going to be a big bust. And after that first debate of a bust, DeSantis is probably gone. I mean, he's burned through like $80 million or more, maybe even more, of his campaign money in a very short time. And he's not getting more money. That's why he's laying people off. So he's done. And if you look at the polls, I may go through some of the polls in the next hour with Steve. I'm not sure, you know, we're going to go back to the calls after the break, by the way, at the top of the hour. But DeSantis is done. Now, I want to report to you that when I got off the air yesterday, I left here and I went and saw Dr. Appleton for my shoulder pain yesterday, and he treated me with the laser away pain treatment. Now, yesterday, I was in so much pain, I could hardly stand up and talk. I had a very difficult time. In particular, the last hour of yesterday's show was a very difficult hour. I was in so much pain. It felt like on the side of my arm, like I had been punched by Tyson. And in the front of my arm, it felt like I'd been stabbed with a steak knife. The knife was still in my arm, and the person was cutting my muscle. That's how much pain I was in yesterday. And I went and saw Dr. Appleton. He gave me an examination, did some range of motion testing, and then gave me the laser away pain treatment. When I walked out of the office, I was feeling better. And now, here I am the next day. The pain is almost gone completely. I wouldn't even describe what I have now as pain. Just some very mild discomfort. And yesterday, on a scale of 10, right? 10 being the worst on a 10-point scale, at the beginning of the show yesterday, I was an 8. At the end of yesterday's show, I was at a 10 or 11 on a 10-point scale of pain. Yeah, by the end of the show yesterday. Pretty bad, huh? I know, it was. And today, I wouldn't even describe this as pain at all. Dr. Appleton's laser away pain treatment works. I'm going to go in for my next treatment either tomorrow or Saturday, And I feel like I don't even need it because the pain is gone right now. It's gone. Thanks to Dr. Appleton. Give him a call, 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. Online, AppletonCairo.com. Remember, you don't need an appointment, and walk-ins are welcome even on Saturdays. 954-973-0710. We'll be right back after this.
WWNN Pompano Beach, WIRK HD3 Indiantown. Programming paid for by Vic Canales Media Group. Broadcasting from the Robe Studio. Injured recently? Call the Robes Law Group, where winning is a habit. 561-570-5700. 561-570-5700. Robes, winning for you and our community. Your home for the Steve Kane Show. From the Palm Beach Patio Furniture Weather Center, where luxurious outdoor spaces are created, here's the Oldies forecast.
Good day, everybody. Hope you're off to an awesome start. So we're going to see a daytime high today, about 90 degrees, but there's a flood watch up, and we're going to see pockets of heavy rain throughout the course of the day. It is going to be quite wet out there, so take it easy. There's risk of flooding throughout. I'm WPBF 25 First Warning Meteorologist Sandra Shaw. Weather brought to you by
All right, are you there? All right, if you get disconnected when I take calls, I'll call you back during the break. But all right. We're going to have Steve on the phone. By the way, if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe, everyone. And everyone, please like the video, okay? When you like the video, that helps spread the word about this channel, and it gets it recommended to people that have not yet discovered this show. So make sure that you like the video, everyone. That helps a lot. Only a handful of you have, about a third of you watching live right now have liked the video. So the other 2/3, like the video, please. It helps so much. And of course, subscribing helps too. But liking the video is very important as well.
Traffic, a service of the Palm Beach Kennel Club. PBKC is Palm Beach County's only OTB location featuring betting action from top horse tracks and around the country, including Saratoga Racetrack. Visit our incredible paddock restaurant with over 130 new HD TVs, big screens, exceptional dining, a full bar, and an impressive wine list. The paddock is also your best bet for special events. Go to pbkennelclub.com.
Here's your True Oldies ABC News Update.
ABC News Now, I'm Tom Rivers. The Federal Reserve, the nation's central bank, has raised the cost of money another quarter point as it tries to drive inflation down to its goal of 2%. It's currently around 3%.
This is, if you're keeping track, the 11th interest rate hike from the Federal Reserve since March of last year, and it takes the Fed's key short-term interest rate to its highest level in 22 years. And perhaps even more importantly, the Fed left the door open for future interest rate hikes.
ABC's Alexis Christoforous. Air catastrophe in the air. The Federal Aviation Administration says it happened Sunday at Algiant Air A320 out of Fort Lauderdale. Climbed to 23,000 feet when the pilot had to take evasive action to avoid colliding with a Cessna jet, which also took evasive action. Jetliner returned to Fort Lauderdale. A flight attendant was treated for injuries. This is ABC News.
So you just used bug spray in your home. Now what? Well, between the waiting and waiting for things to dry up and keeping your family away from the mess, it hits you. You could have used Zevo. Unlike other bug sprays that stick around, Zevo goes from field to speed in seconds. Plus, it's safe for use around people and pets when used as directed. Zevo, people-friendly, bug-deadly.
The summer sizzling Kia sales event will be held at one location only, City Kia of Greater Orlando, just off the Florida Turnpike. Drive a little, save a lot. City Kia summer sales event. City Kia's Battle of Brands begins right now. As the #1 Kia dealer in all of City Kia takes them all on. Toyota,
All right, welcome back. It's Thursday morning. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show. Steve joining us on the phone today. Oh, man, it's a busy day today. Busy day today, Steve, on the phones. Oh, you know, one thing I have not mentioned today was Mitch McConnell. Did you see Mitch McConnell yesterday?
I sure did. That was a scary moment.
To me, that looked like a stroke.
That's what it appeared to be. And they walked him out at the end, and I understand that at one point earlier in the episode, we'll call it an episode, he fell face forward and really smashed his...
Well, apparently a couple weeks ago, a week or so ago, he had an accident on a plane that wasn't reported. I watched that video a few times, and he was standing there, and he didn't know who he was, why he was there, where he was at, what he was supposed to be doing. He was lost. Yeah, Joe and Fetterman. I mean, I feel bad for the guy, you know. I mean, I'm not, you know, but he needs to resign. I mean, he looked like Dianne Feinstein, Ruth Bader Ginsburg. It was really bad. You know, it was. Well, you know, these things happen, but you know, you look at Trump. He's in that age group. He's a little younger than McConnell. But there's a difference in... That's right. That's correct. It's not an age thing.
The age is involved. We all age at a different rate, but because you're a certain age, I mean, Trump is younger than, older than many of these guys up there, but he's sharp as a tack, so...
Yeah.
You know, what can you say?
But, you know, But here's the thing. Both Dianne Feinstein and Mitch McConnell are Chinese assets. We all know this. You know, Mitch McConnell's wife, not only is she Chinese American, okay, Coco Chow, Trump calls her, and they say that's racist. I bet you Coco is her nickname that everybody calls her. But anyway, her family, her father went to high school with the past president of China, so they're very connected. And, you know, they're going to keep these guys around because it's hard for them to create new assets to ride up into senior positions in government. And they got to have Mitch McConnell there because I guess who's ever next in line for the Republicans either isn't compromised or doesn't have the juice that he has. But I feel bad for the guy, don't get me wrong, even though he's a never Trumper and a creep and he betrayed Trump. Trump supported him, got him reelected, and
What's the line of succession?
Oh, you mean who would be the next Republican leader in the Senate? I do not know the answer to that. If anyone knows, let us know. They'd have to have an election in Kentucky. They'd have an election.
Okay.
So I don't know who's in line. It's one of those seats that people don't look at because they know he's there for life. He's a lifer. But when I saw him yesterday, that blank stare, woo-wee. I mean, that's something you see, you know, here in Florida, you see that at the grocery store or something, but not with one of your nation's leaders. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Richard from Pompano.
Hey, Richard.
Okay, I just want to let you know, I know what happened to Mitch O'Connell. He had what they call a TIA, or trans ischemic attack. And that's when you have... what do you call that? Where you're stiff and your tongue hangs out.
I don't know. Is it neurological? Is it neurological?
Yes. Yeah, it's before not a stroke. Come on, when you fall down and your arms are flaying, they don't want you to swallow your tongue. Seizure.
A seizure? That was a seizure?
You know,
No. See, what happens before?
Slow down, caller. What'd you say, caller?
A trans ischemic attack.
Okay, and Steve, what did you say it was?
A symptom
that Craig Wellington used to get.
On the air?
Yeah.
Seizure. It's a symptom that he may be having a seizure later on. My girlfriend had this, and she finally did have a seizure, and she stiffened out. We were in a car, and it was just horrible. And whatever. I'm just telling you, when you go silent and you just stare and don't move.
Well, I've seen people have mild strokes and they don't fall and collapse, and it looked similar to that. I mean, are you a doctor? Are you a doctor? Are you a doctor?
No, forget the
Oh.
stroke. It's a seizure. It's a totally different thing.
I just want to put you on notice. We're having our usual technical difficulties here, so I wanted to ask people to be kind and patient with us. We will get it straightened out. And Brian,
What's the problem? Oh, well, he was talking loudly. That guy. He had a big mouth. He was obsessed with the seizure.
I'm working off the phone here, so...
Well, I can hear you fine, Steve. You sound fine to me. But you can't hear... No. Oh. You sound fine. The caller was loud and not listening to either of us because he was obsessed with his girlfriend's seizure. But
the same old story, the battle between good and evil, Darth Vader and Luke Skywalker. I mean, that's what's going down here, and it's a very confusing state because this judge, sometimes she looks like she's in control and she's going to do the right thing. And then other times she looks like she's...
Well, you know, with the judge yesterday, okay, there are a few things yesterday, okay, and we got a great call in the first hour from a gentleman who was actually in the courtroom with Hunter yesterday. But a few things we've learned, okay? One, the judge apologizing to Hunter, even though she did it while taking a jab at the attorneys, I don't care. That's why I thought she could not have been appointed by Trump. I've never heard of a judge apologizing to a criminal in the courtroom. Then come to find out that the prosecutor was Joe's attorney when he was vice president. He was also Joe's press secretary when he was in the Senate. And they got these personal emails. He emailed Hunter, and he signed them, "Love your brother." That's the prosecutor. So, you know, come on. But with the caller that called in that was in the courtroom, I'd asked him some questions about it because, you know, we couldn't see in the courtroom. We have some very poor sketches from an artist. And when he pled not guilty, he didn't stand up. He stayed sitting in his chair, Hunter, when he spoke to the judge and pled not guilty. That's arrogance. I've never seen someone not stand up when they're speaking to the judge. I've never seen that before. So, yeah, I'm sure it's happened, you know, with sickos, but that shows you the arrogance of Hunter, that he didn't even stand up in front of the judge when he entered his plea. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Deerfield?
Hey, Brian.
Hey, Brian. I was going to say at the McConnell press conference last night where we had the incident, I believe the senator to his right who kind of brought a close to it was the medical doctor.
Yes. Where
he became a senator. It's a good thing he was there to kind of wrap that up quick and get McConnell off and take a look at him because he was in trouble at that.
Well, I'll tell you, the fact that they've kept these people around, like Feinstein and him around, it tells us that the Chinese may not have as many assets as we thought, or they retire them out and replace them with young assets. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. The other comment I make, again, getting back to the DeSantis campaign, I've never seen an implosion like this ever, Brian. From his lofty status that he had before as Florida governor to where he is now, I mean, it's just a stunning fall from grace.
Well, you know what happened here is his arrogance. His arrogance that he thought he was the man. He didn't realize he was on Trump's coattails. I told you guys, I was so reluctant to share this. When I was at Wings Plus with him, I talked about this, that before we knew, and I got some heat from some listeners, because this is before he blew his cover, his fake MAGA. I said, I've met him before at Wings Plus last time, and I met him again, and he's different. He had this look on his face that he's in love with himself. And I said he just had I said that like right, I was very, and people gave me a hard time. I could just say that. And I said, there's just something, he's not the same DeSantis. That was maybe the fourth time I'd been in his presence, okay? And the other times he was very normal, like you or me. And then the last time, it was different. You know when people are in love with themselves and they've got this smirk on their face? You know what I mean? Like they're smiling because they think they're so hot and everybody wants to bang. You know, it was that kind of thing.
Evidence that, like in a one-on-one where you're with him personally, that he's really not that personable at all. And he doesn't have the charisma that Trump has, that's for sure.
Well, when I saw him meeting with people, I saw him really talk to two types of people when I saw him at the event. I'm talking about one-on-one talking. Media, and then I saw his team rush him over to a child in a wheelchair. And I thought he was ushered around a little bit more than I would have expected for someone like him. A lot of these people that are older get, like McConnell, get shown around because they're old. But when he went up to, when I was at that place with him, and they took him up for a photo op with the kid in the wheelchair, it seemed so staged. You understand what I mean?
Do you think he maybe should just skip the debate altogether and just get off the stage?
He's going to try for one last gasp. Hey, listen, thanks for the call. All right, now listen, we're gonna take our break, and when we get back, I'm gonna Steve, I was gonna tell people why DeSantis is going down in the polls so much. We were talking about this yesterday, and I know it'll sound petty, but I'll tell you the answer to that when we get back. All right, we'll take our break and be back right after this.
On the sidelines, get in on the action. Call the Steve Kane Show live on air now. 888-GO-KANE-1. This is the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
Hey, it's Scott Shannon here with a question. How would you like a free doorbell camera? You get a doorbell camera, you get a doorbell camera, and you get a doorbell camera. I wish we had them for everyone, but the first 40 true oldies channel listeners to call 833-283-5050 will get a free doorbell camera that connects directly to your cell phone with installation of your Sloman Shield. You're going to see your home right from the palm of your hand. And that's not all. Sloman's going to give you a free customized home security system and professional installation when you use their low-cost central station monitoring. So you're getting an LED touchscreen pad, a motion detector, 3-arm doors, and a backup battery. Plus, if you're one of the first 40 True Oldies channel listeners to dial 833-283-5050, you'll receive a free doorbell camera with the installation of your Sloman Shield. So call Sloman's now for this limited time offer, 833-283-5050. That's 833-283-5050.
Brian Craig here. When it comes time to get my blood work done, I don't have time to spend hours at the doctor's office or waiting hours at one of those big labs. That's why I do any lab test now in Boca and any lab test now in Coral Springs for all of my lab work. Their techs are highly skilled and professional, and their prices are guaranteed to be the lowest on lab work you'll find anywhere. Appointments aren't necessary. Doctor's orders and prescriptions, they're not needed either. I'm in and out in 15 minutes or less. I get the results the next day in my email box, and they also send to my doctor. There's lots of any lab test nows around, but these are the only two advertising on our radio station. So don't use the rest. Only go to Any Lab Test Now of Boca and Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs. Any Lab Test Now of Boca is in the Sandalfoot Plaza. That's where the Western Beach is, between Palmetto Park Road and Hillsborough Boulevard on the east side of State Road 7, 441. Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs is on the southeast corner of University and Bramblewood by the Coral Square Mall. Call Any Lab Test Now of Boca at 561-237-5009. Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs number is 954-906-5983. And don't forget to mention that you heard about them on the radio.
This is Steve Kane. I want to tell you about my favorite restaurant in all of South Florida, Wings Plus in Coral Springs. Wings just the way you like them. Plump, tender, and delicious, crispy on the outside, succulent on the inside. Everything homemade, nothing comes out of a can. Dozens of specialty sauces that will make your mouth water. Wings Plus, located in Coral Springs, a mile west of University on the south side of Sample Road.
Now back to the Steve Kane 106.9 FM. Hear us in Boca on 95.3 FM, Fort Lauderdale on 96.9 FM, and anywhere in the world at...
All right, we're back. I'm Brian. Call us on hold, stand by. We've got Steve on the line today on the phone while we're working out your broken microphone at your studio. I want to talk, though, before we get back into the news about neuropathy. You know, neuropathy is living torture. If you have neuropathy or someone you know have neuropathy, you know what I'm talking about, right, Steve? If they gave neuropathy to all those prisoners in Guantanamo Bay, they would have sung like canaries and told them where bin Laden was 20 years earlier. I mean, it's that bad. It's that bad. And, you know, what makes it worse is that your doctors will tell you there's no treatment for it, that the neuropathy symptoms, that nothing can be done about it. You've got to get used to it. The numbness, the pain, the burning, the tingling in the hands and feet, muscle weakness, loss of balance, muscle twitching, the feeling of pins and needles in your hands and feet, all of that torture, there is help. There is a solution. It's at Lighthouse Medical Center. They have a treatment for neuropathy that works. It worked with Steve, and many of our listeners I've spoken to have just told me the great success that Lighthouse Medical Center has had with them and their neuropathy. And get this, Lighthouse Medical Center in Pompano has been in practice for 71 years, 71 years with the same family of doctors. That's amazing. I believe they're probably the oldest medical practice in Broward County, if not South Florida. 71 years, same family. It's not a medical practice that's been bought and sold a dozen times and they kept the name, the same family. And that tells you a lot, doesn't it? Now listen, if you can't make it into the office in person in Pompano, that's okay. They understand. People that are suffering from neuropathy, can't drive oftentimes, have difficulties, or maybe you're so far away you can't make it there. They can still help you, all right? I'm going to give you the number in a moment. Call them. Make sure you mention you heard about them on the radio so you can take advantage of the no-charge consultation. They're online at lighthousemedicalcenter.com or give them a call, 754-222-6642. 754-222-6642. All right, you back with us, Steve? Okay, now I wanted to talk to you. The reason I'm bringing this up about DeSantis is there's some new stories about him today, and this one here, there's a new poll. Ron DeSantis' net favorability rating falls to a historic low. Okay, listen to this. The survey asked Republican voters if they have a favorable or unfavorable view of DeSantis. The latest results show 57% view him unfavorably. Unfavorably. 57%. Is that nuts? I mean, that unfavorably. Yeah. And I'll tell you where it's coming from, okay? I'm telling you where it's coming from. And it's these personal meetings that he's involved in, right? He's going to these fundraisers, these personal meet and greets in restaurants. And two things happen, okay? One, he's very weird and awkward at these events. If you've seen any of the film of him laughing, it's so... Have you seen him laughing, Steve? He looks like he's going into convulsions, and it's so fake, forced, and weird. And I was telling you about his height. He's short for a presidential candidate. And he's you know, like 5'8", 5'7". Don't Google it. Google lies. I've been in his presence, okay? He wears heels, cowboy boots with heels to bring his height up a little bit. There's not been the shortest president in the modern era was Ronald Reagan at 5'11", and he probably used to be 6 foot, but by 70 he had shrunk, right? So we really haven't had a president under 6 foot in the age of television, and the reason that is when they go on the debate stage, they look like a jockey next to who they're running against. That's one of the problems Dukakis had when he was running for president. He had other problems too, letting murderers out of jail to kill people and stuff on the weekends. That seems to turn voters off. But the height is a problem. And I think what happens when people meet him in person, I think first they're shocked at how short he is. I was. I couldn't believe it. I told you what happened. I'm not going to tell the story again, but I was shocked. And I think there's two bits of shockness when people are meeting him in person. He comes into the room, they're expecting Trump, and you know, they get Tyrion Lannister, right? They get a short guy, and they're like, what? What? That's DeSantis? You know, because he's so short. And then after that shock, they have contact with him like he is, and he's so weird with the weird laughing and everything in person. He's not personable.
Very simple. He just doesn't have personality.
Well, you and I have both met a lot of politicians. If you met, you know, Barack Obama is a bad dude, but you know what? He's charming. I've met Bill Clinton a couple times. He's a scummy guy, we know, but he's charming. You know, and he does not have that juice that you need to become president. And when people meet him, they are turned off. Obviously, they're turned off by him. That's why he's tanking in all the polls and in these primary states.
Back to the beginning of where it started, when he started making speeches, when he started going after Trump in the very beginning, and especially when the turning point was at New York, when he didn't try to do something to intercede on Trump's behalf, when they were trying to get him exported to Florida from New York.
Yeah.
And people realized he was a phony.
Yeah.
And no one, the heavy majority of the voters just never forgave him for that.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. You know, and I'm thinking of all the successful politicians I've met. They're all likable, no matter how I'll get another one. Mitt Romney is a nasty guy. He's working right now against Trump in the hardest way. Right? He's a nasty guy. We had him at Wings Plus, and we had him on the show a couple times when he was running for president. He's a charming. The guy, I mean, it's amazing. As big of a snake as he is. I was in shock when I saw his true colors that Trump brought out, because he is so, Mitt Romney is so charming. They all are. Newt, Gingrich, all of them I've ever met. But not DeSantis.
Point to be made here, because every one of these candidates running against Trump has a moment of truth that they're going to have to deal with in the coming weeks, and that is how to handle Trump.
Yeah.
And I got to tell you, the people that go after, I predict, the people that go after Trump, for example, Christie is a perfect example. There are people that are just some of them did destroy Trump. They're going to find when they do that, they're going to be falling to the lower depths of the polls. Trump is just too popular now. People like him. They're looking to him as a savior to end this seeming free fall that the country appears to be in.
Yeah.
And when they go at, they love Trump, and when any of these guys turns to attack Trump, they're going to lose.
That's right. That's right. Listen, we're at the bottom of the hour. We'll take our break and be right back.
Morning radio great again. I think you're gonna really love it. It's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig. The greatest rock and roll hits of the 60s and 70s coming up this morning. From the Palm Beach Patio Furniture Weather Center, where luxurious outdoor spaces are created, here's the oldies forecast.
Good day, everybody. Hope you're off to an awesome start. So we're going to see a daytime high today, about 90 degrees, but there's a flood watch up, and we're going to see pockets of heavy rain throughout the course of the day. It is going to be quite wet out there, so take it easy. The risk of flooding throughout. I'm WPBF 25 First Warning Meteorologist Sandra Shaw.
Weather brought to you by Palm Beach Patio Furniture. Route 1, Seminole Plaza Shops, North Palm Beach. Palm Beach Patio Furniture. Voted in the best of the best patio store in Palm Beach County. PalmBeachPatioFurniture.com, where luxurious outdoor spaces are created.
And now, a true oldies traffic check, brought to you by the Palm Beach Kennel Club.
We have a new multi-vehicle crash now in Lake Worth along I-95 heading northbound approaching 10th Avenue North. 2 left lanes are blocked. We are seeing some slowdowns on the approach. We're in West Palm Beach. We have railroad arms in the down position that are stuck on Palm Beach Lakes Boulevard between Carver Avenue and North Cameron Avenue. The best alternate right now is 15th Street. A multi-vehicle crash with multiple lanes blocked on Lake Clark Shores along Forest Hill Boulevard on Florida Mango Road. And we still have a multi-vehicle crash on Southern Boulevard, Royal Palm Beach Boulevard, also on St. Andrews Boulevard just south of Glades Road. This report is sponsored by Irish Spring. The fresh scent of Irish Spring and those sensational Irish Spring suds are just the reset you need to own the day. Irish Spring, when the spring hits you, you're ready. Pick up Irish Spring at your local retailer today. That's Traffic. I'm Chris Barr.
Traffic, a service of the Palm Beach Kennel Club. PBKC is Palm Beach County's only OTB location featuring betting action from top horse tracks and around the country, including Saratoga Racetrack. Visit our incredible paddock restaurant with over 130 new HD TVs, big screens, exceptional dining, a full bar, and an impressive wine list. Traffic is also your best bet for special events. Go to pbkennelclub.com.
If you're a homeowner, business owner, or with a homeowners association and your roof is old or compromised, you need to call Tom Laporta at Laporta Contracting. Tom Laporta will give you a free evaluation. Laporta Contracting was voted one of the best general contractor and best roofers in South Florida. He's honest, knowledgeable, and reliable, and will never sell you a roof you don't need. If you have an insurance claim, call your insurance company immediately. Then call Tom Laporta. New laws are in effect that allow Tom to negotiate directly with your insurance company on the cost of all repairs, so you don't necessarily need to employ a public adjuster or a lawyer. Tom can handle any type of roofing job too. Residential roofing and repair, commercial roofs, schools, municipal buildings, office buildings, emergency repairs. If it's roofing, Tom Laporta can do it. Call Tom Laporta right now, 954-604-4602. 954-604-4602. And online, LaportaContracting.com.
Brian Craig here. I've suffered with massive pain in my knee for years, but not anymore. It's all gone, thanks to Dr. Appleton and his laser away pain system. I'm in studio right now with Dr. Appleton. Dr. Appleton, how'd you do it?
Well, I treated your knee pain with laser. Treatment is simple and no side effect. I have robotic lasers that have a wonderful effect on joint pain. These are all FDA approved.
Now, you don't just help with knees. Tell the listeners what other areas you can help them with.
Any joint I can do, shoulder pain, hip pain, sciatica, stenosis, arthritis, tendonitis, bursitis, from the foot all the way up to the neck.
Dr. Appleton is a chiropractic physician, and with the laser away pain system, there's no injections, no surgery, and no drugs. He's open 6 days a week, and same-day appointments are available. Call right now for your free consultation, 954-973-0710, 954-973-0710. And make sure to tell Dr. Appleton you heard about him on the radio.
Hey, good morning, Brian. It's Lisa, and my husband and I received our My Pillow 2.0 that we ordered with Kane the other day. The buy one, get one free, and they're our first My Pillows, and we love them. We absolutely love them. They're just absolutely marvelous. Yeah, I'm so glad. I got slippers on the way, too.
Go to MyPillow.com and use our promo code Kane at checkout, K-A-N-E, and buy your My Pillow 2.0. Right now, buy one, get one free. You can also order by phone, toll free, 800-716-4879. 1-800-716-4879. Promo code Kane.
Hey, how you doing? It's Uncle Eddie from Uncle Eddie's Restaurante. Listen up, for all the locals out there, it's time for a deal. Half-price entrees? Yep, you heard me right. 50% off all dinners from 4 to 6, Wednesday through Sunday. And 20% off the whole entire menu to go, including the best thin crust pizza in town. Forget about it. Where else are you going to get delicious beef braciole, linguine clam sauce, lasagna, pork chops? Nowhere. My prices are insane.
You bet Brian's a trip when he... Well, come on the cruise. You'll find out.
Where else are you going to go and have the owner sing for you? Come down to Uncle Eddie's, 4050 US 1, just north of Donald Ross Road, 561-508-7799. Hurry up in.
Well, thank you, John.
The 8th annual Delray Beach Summer Green Market is back again. This open-air farmers market starts on June 3rd and continues to July 29th on Saturdays from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Located on the corner of Swinton Avenue and East Atlantic on the front lawn of the Old School Square. Shop with South Florida's premier farmers, bakers, small batch culinary food artisans, and witness local chefs showing up for cooking demonstrations. The Green Market is open rain or shine, pet friendly, and has free parking. The Green Market is a licensed SNAP provider, so you can shop with eligible SNAP vendors. Double your SNAP benefits at the Green Market with fresh access bucks, dollar-for-dollar match. You snap, we match. This is a program of the Delray Beach Community Redevelopment Agency. See you on Saturday.
Now, back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
All right, we're back. I'm Brian, Steve Kane on the line. One story here. I had this story yesterday, and I didn't share it because it seemed like this could not be true, Steve. Okay? And I saw this story, and I was like, this is so outrageous. There's no way this story can be true. And it was so out there. I'm like, I can't go on the air with this. I'll look like an idiot. The Bidens may do a lot of things, but they would never be involved with something so stupid, so openly, and so easily that you can get caught doing. I got to get more verification before I share this story on the air. I'll look like an idiot. But it was true. And this is insane. I don't know why someone's not in jail over this. I guess because the Bidens are connected. A member of Biden's legal team misrepresented herself and called the clerk of courts in this Delaware case, claiming to be the prosecution team, and asked the clerk to remove a bunch of evidence, including things from the whistleblowers, to take it out of evidence. And, Steve, that's got to be a crime. I mean, it's...
story yesterday. That was what started the reversal of fortunes for the...
Well, I heard the story the night before last, and it kind of developed and was confirmed, like really confirmed after we got off the air yesterday. And it just seems so crazy, insanely stupid that I couldn't believe that a law firm who is representing the child of the President of the United States would do something so criminal.
Brian, you know what that is? It's the old story that when you're desperate, you do crazy things. And that's exactly what happened. I mean, no one in their right mind who was representing Hunter or had Hunter's interest at heart would have ever done anything like that. It was so stupid and insane, almost insane. Like
it is insane. It would be like if this would be what it would be like. Okay, now I have not been in front of any trials personally. Well, I was in small claims court once. There was another radio host who dragged me into small claims court, but over something. The same person, different courts, but. No, it's true. It's true. We could talk about it. They're dead, but I don't. But anyway, I've been to traffic court a few times, okay? And I haven't been to traffic court in a while because I realized, Steve, that when you are speeding or something, and a cop puts his lights on behind you, that there's white privilege. If you roll down your window and stick your arm out and they see that you have white skin, they let you go. They don't even stop you. They turn the lights off. I don't know if you've ever I learned that a couple years back. It's amazing. But I've been to traffic court. This would be like, okay, I've got my traffic court date coming up, and I call the clerk of courts and tell them that I'm the police and I want the evidence from the radar gun taken out of the court. And then they find out. I think they would arrest me even if I did it in traffic court.
You got to be, one thing this is nails home is the image of how corrupt these people really are. I'm talking about all of them. That whole little cells they have.
Well, I'll tell you another thing that's concerning, Steve, or I don't know, concerning or shocking. I want you to think about this, okay? You've got lawyers that you've paid boatloads of your stolen monies to, right? They pull a stunt like this. They call the clerk's office pretending to be the prosecutors to get the whistleblower evidence out. They obviously were high. Wasn't the attorney smoking the bong the other day? What a normal person would do is fire them, get new lawyers, go before the judge and say, I've got a whole new legal team because my legal team pulled this stuff. But the Bidens haven't done that. They're still being represented by the same lawyers that called the clerk pretending to be the prosecutor.
It's because everybody is in bed with everybody up there. That's what it is. It's inbred.
Well, that's why I don't trust this Trump judge. That's why I wasn't even sure she was a Trump judge.
That's the Trump judge. You still don't know how it's going to play out. They're still talking about putting the deal back together and resurrecting the deal. And that's not totally gone yet. You don't know how it's going to play out.
Yeah. What shocked me about that, because by the time they got to court, this story was confirmed by all the major news media about calling the clerk. I was expecting the judge to throw the attorneys in jail for contempt and charge them with crimes. I mean,
they're all friends.
Steve, when you are an attorney, even if you're an officer of the court, clerks are officers of the court. If you impersonate an officer of the court, which is what they did, they were impersonating a prosecutor. Anyone else would have gotten arrested in the courtroom by the judge yesterday. Anyone else?
This is the important thing. It still is not resolved. People that know it, I mean, I'm still very uneasy about it, because yesterday appeared on the surface to be a victory for the good guys.
No.
I'm not sure that it's etched in stone.
No, they're buying time. They're trying to ride out the news cycle.
Yes. But on the other hand, they may come to the fact that too many people know about this, and they may, out of fear, end up doing the right thing anyway. But it's not a sure bet, that's for sure.
Well, if Biden pardoned Hunter today, I think the Democrats and the media would support it. Not putting the country through all this.
Yesterday shook things up, but things have not resettled yet. It's hard to tell the lasting impact of what yesterday been the beginning of the end.
What they're doing is, I think what they're doing, I'm talking about the judge too, okay? And the lawyers. I think they're finding out if they've really been caught, or if they can still get away with pulling something.
They want to see the lasting effect, or the strange effect, because they're used to these things disappearing.
Well, yeah, and there's today it's being reported that the Trump grand jury in D.C. could come back with an indictment as early as today. So they figure if they get another indictment with Trump, especially on January 6th, that this may be forgotten.
Figuring wrong.
No, that's exactly right. They're figuring wrong. But the judge did put these impossible things he's got to do. Hunter's got to be drug and alcohol free and get a job.
That's the toughest one for
You think it's tougher for him to get a job than it is to give up drugs and booze?
I think work, as we defined it, is foreign to his nature.
Yeah, well, his dad can appoint him advisor to the president or something. I don't know.
Those kind of jobs.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, I didn't see yesterday as a victory at all. If the judge would have done something serious to the defense attorneys, I would have said, okay, this is a victory. But the fact that nothing.
You can't tell for sure what the end is, because the end hasn't played out yet.
Yeah. Now, I want to tell everyone that the Sloman's free home security system and free doorbell camera offer with professional installation, this offer is back. It's for a limited time. You want to take advantage of this offer, guys, okay? This is an amazing, I have this doorbell camera. I love it, okay? Now, if you got to be, there's a couple things here. Listen carefully. You got to be one of the first 40 listeners who call 1-833-283-5050 to get your free doorbell camera that connects directly to your cell phone with the installation of your Sloman Shield. All right, Slomans, they're also going to give you a free customized home security system and professional installation when you use their low-cost central station monitoring, which includes an LED touchscreen pad, a motion detector, 3 arm doors, a backup battery, and if you're one of the first 40 listeners who call 833-283-5050, you get that free doorbell camera with the installation of your Sloman Shield. Remember, this is a limited time offer. 833-283-5050. All right, yeah, so I'm sticking with my thing that they're riding this out to see if they got caught or if they can ride it out. That's the main thing that's going on here. And I don't think there's anything to get excited about with Hunter Biden either way, because he's going to get a pardon from his father.
This is just one incident. You got to understand there's a whole number of incidents at play here. Basically, what they're sitting back waiting to see what happens after the dust settles in the Congress, where there's enough resolved,
yeah,
who can muster the integrity to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Well, no, I agree with you on that. But these guys are as dirty gets. They have no shame. These are people without shame. Now, I want to...
When they determine,
yeah,
separate the men from the boys. They're either going to have enough to impeach or they're not. I say that too much has come out, and I think yesterday was part of that.
Well, the only thing yesterday that gave me any hope that things are not going well for these criminals is Jean-Pierre. I got two clips here I'll play, but it's not what Jean-Pierre says so much, it's her tone, her mood. She was off yesterday. She was not happy, Jean-Pierre. Okay, listen.
Months ago, you said that nothing has changed when you were asked about the president's previous remarks on his son's business dealings, but the language has in fact changed. So I just want to clear this up once and for all. The president has previously said that he has never discussed overseas business dealings with his son, but the White House now says that the president has never been in business with his son. So why the updated language? Which statement is true? Or is it semantics and they're both true?
As I stated on Monday, when I was asked this question multiple times, nothing has changed. Nothing has changed. On this, nothing has changed.
Okay, you see, you can tell her mood's off. She doesn't have the arrogance. She doesn't have the peppiness to her. You know what I mean? Jean-Pierre?
Guys, yes.
Well, that's good news for us then. If they're having a bad day, that's good news for us. All right, listen, we're going to take our break and be back with the Gold Report.
The cold, hard,
he was there.
Truth. Delivered morning 6 to 9 right here on The Steve Kane Show.
All right, we lost William Youngerman, Steve, but we'll have him back in a moment, okay? And then we'll get to... I'll just take him live when you got him on hold. Let's go. All right, William Youngerman from the offices of William Youngerman Incorporated with the Morning Gold and Precious Metals Report. William Youngerman, how are the metals looking today?
Still in our trading range, up yesterday, $7.20 on gold at $1,971.70. Looks like it's giving it back this morning. Silver was up 23 cents yesterday, closing at $24.89. We did get back up to that $25 number again yesterday. Platinum was down $5 at $9.63, and palladium closed down $26 yesterday at $12.37. As I said this morning, we got gold a little bit lower, but we did get up to $1,981 overnight, trading in a range from $1,961 to $1,981. And currently at $1,963, that's down $8.50. Silver up a penny right now at $24.90, while platinum is down $7 at $955, and palladium is down $4 at $12.33. So the market's still trading in our ranges and giving us a little bit of a pullback today to take advantage of.
When it comes to gold and silver, what are the best products to pick up in both gold and silver right now at these prices?
At these prices, just about everything is available and at very reasonable prices again.
Yeah, so this is the time. I guess the supply chains have caught up to the metals and brought those premiums down. Yeah, that's what it is. Listen, William Youngerman opens up at 10 a.m. And it's rare that you hear William Youngerman say everything because different. So no matter what silver, whatever gold you're really into, now's a great time. He opens up at 10 a.m. Give him a call, 1-800-327-5010. 1-800-327-5010. Online, WilliamYoungerman.com, or stop in. He's located at 150 East Palmetto Park Road on the first floor of the Bank of America building just east of US 1 Federal Highway on the south side of Palmetto Park Road. All right, William Yargerman will finish out the week tomorrow.
Okay, have a great day. Thanks.
All right, back after this.
Show is on the air.
All right, we're back. I'm Brian Steve on the phone today. And then I got one other, yeah, go ahead.
Prediction if I can.
Of course.
You know how I love to play the prediction game. In this next debate, whether Trump is in let me do, before I do that, let me just ask you a question. If you had to bet, I know you don't bet, but
No, I don't gamble.
if you were forced to bet, if they gave you a free bet as to whether Trump is going to participate or not, what would you say, yes or no?
No, he will not. Not on the debate stage.
All right, I'm going to take a flyer against you. I'm going to say I think he will in the end. It's just too much his nature to want to be up there, and it's not his nature to run away. So I disagree with that. But the thing I wanted to point out, I think there are two people that are going to get creamed as far as the polls go after the next debate. And that's Asa Hutchinson and Chris Christie. Because they're the ones that are going to go the hardest after Trump. And they're going to get personal, and they're going to get nasty, and it's going to backfire. And when the next day, the day after the debate, when the rankings come out or the polls come out, they're both going to get hammered. But one or both of them will probably drop.
Well, I'll tell you why I think he's not going to participate, all right? Trump is running a different campaign than he ran the first two times, and there's nothing for him to gain in going to this first debate. If I remember correctly, in the first campaign, there was one debate he skipped and did a rally at the same time. I can't remember which debate it was. But this is what I mean. DeSantis is hanging on by a thread, and he's the leader of the jerks, okay? He's the front runner of the jerks, and he's hanging in by a thread. If Trump goes to the debate, there's a possibility he could elevate DeSantis a couple points or some of these people, and DeSantis could end up out of the race right after this debate.
That is the conventional wisdom, but I think it's good especially in terms of DeSantis, to strike the death blow on him in terms of his candidate, in terms of his campaign. Trump's really got to issue that. He's going to be the one to do that. So, and he's got to deliver it in person. He's got to have one of those moments that Trump is known for.
But Steve, what kind of zinger? Okay, this debate is not even worth watching, right? If there's no Trump, it's not worth watching. Without Trump, it's not worth watching, right? It's not going to be interesting. It's going to probably be, the next day, Fox isn't going to report it this way because it's their debate, and the next day they're going to be filled with sound bites and make it sound like it was eventful. But the day after the debate, the ratings are going to come out, and they're going to show the lowest rated, probably Republican primary debate in history, okay, because Trump wasn't there, no one cared, and the debate itself is going to be non-eventful and boring without Trump there, and that's...
It's going to be anything but uneventful, because I think that's when the roof is going to cave in on the two bad guys who, in my opinion, are DeSantis, not DeSantis, well, DeSantis a little bit, but
Hutchinson and Christie
are going to be very nasty to Trump, and it's going to backfire, and they will drop out as a result.
Well, they're looking to bring in Youngkin now. We were talking about this a little bit yesterday, to be the new front runner opposition to Trump.
Story in this race is going to become who's once the two bad guys drop out, Hutchinson and Christie,
and DeSantis.
It's going to be the next week is going to be starting to focus on who's going to be the vice president, and they're going to talk about the good guys who didn't really go after Trump that badly in a positive light as possible running mates.
See, the problem that they're all running into okay, is not just because we all love Trump so much. The economy is so bad now, and people remember how perfect it was when Trump was president, even with the world shut down for a year, how great and like this story today, this is what happens when you have college professors and not business people running the economy. They raise the interest rates again, right? I mean, that's just the dumbest thing you could do in a time like this, making it more expensive to buy a house, you know? And, you know, my wife and I, a couple months ago, because my daughter moved out, we don't need the house. Sometimes you downsize, you know, when you we were going to sell our house and get a new one, and the interest rates were too high. And now they're even higher now than they were then, and we didn't buy a house because, so everything in the economy is going down the tubes. You know, my daughter, Steve, now that she's out on her own and she's buying like her own groceries, she sent me a video of what $100 bought in groceries. It wasn't very much. It wasn't very much. And she's like, I didn't realize how expensive groceries were. Yeah, exactly. And people are having a difficult time right now, and they know how great things were. See, what happened, what they don't understand, they would have better luck if they found an accomplished business person to run against Trump. I'm not saying this would be the person, but like a Mark Cuban type, because who?
I know their names, but
oh, please, they got to be somebody famous. And Trump would. I don't know their names either. And I know who you're talking about. Trump changed the standard of what the American people accept and want from their politicians.
Make a run.
Oh, please.
He's never going to be. I don't think he's ever going to look seriously competitive.
He's 37 years old, Steve.
I don't think he's going to look competitive ever against Trump, but I think he's going to be the one to get the bump in the polls.
Yeah, probably, maybe. But the thing about the people in this country do not want career politicians anymore. They don't. I mean, they don't trust them. They believe they're all corrupt like Biden, and they're do-nothings. They're like college professors, right? And with Trump coming from the private sector, you have results or you're done, and people expect results, not rhetoric. And they don't. There's not one person that's even being discussed that could challenge Trump because they're all politicians. Like Ron DeSantis doesn't even own a car. What kind of attorney doesn't own a car? Even a New York attorney that doesn't drive has a car for the weekends to go to the Hamptons or whatever. Come on. He does that. You can't turn the economy over to these people. But I'll tell you this. Tomorrow on the program is Friday, and that means open phones. And on Friday, when we have open phones on Friday, we don't like to call it Open Phone Friday because that was Russia's thing. We call it Open MAGA Mike Friday. One of our listeners, Christine, came up with that. Open MAGA Mike Friday. And on Open MAGA Mike Friday, any and everything you have on your mind is fair game. You're not limited to the topics that Steve and I bring up. So that's tomorrow. And sometimes that's hit and miss. Sometimes we have the greatest calls of the week, and then sometimes it's, really bad. There's a rally this weekend. I'll have the details tomorrow. I don't recall off the top of my head, but he does have an event this weekend, which I'll tell you guys about tomorrow. Also, if you ever miss a portion of a show, you can go to our radio station website, trueoldiesfla.com. And about an hour after we go off the air each day, Mike, our board op, uploads the entire show to trueoldiesfla.com as a podcast. And they're archived up there forever, so you can go back weeks, months. If you missed a show, a part of a show, or maybe you called in and you want to download your call and keep it in perfect stereophonic sound so you can share it with all your friends or just gloat and listen to it yourself, you can go to True Oldies FLA and do that. All right, it's the Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian Craig. This is Florida's longest-running radio show on the radio since 1977, celebrating 46 years on the radio. I'm Brian. Steve Kane's here. We'll see you tomorrow.
WWNN Pompano Beach.
All right, guys. See you later. Make sure you like the video before you go. All right? Thanks for watching.